Chapter 154. How did the saying go again? It was better to return late than early. Returning early would always give you an unexpected surprise. Now, Tang Bao saw a surprise. In the past, there was Lan Wanru. Who was it now? Yu Songhuan continued, "Are you happy with this marriage? I know you married her because of me, but I'm telling you, I don't agree to this marriage." Hearing this, Tang Bao didn't even think about it and went to the side hall. Di Haotian, what kind of woman did you bring back this time? Tang Bao went in angrily. When she saw the woman sitting on the sofa, she said in disbelief, "And she's old?" Di Haotian's face was dark, and the lines on his face were tense. Yu Songhuan had nowhere to vent the anger in his heart. His chest was heaving up and down. Have I seen you somewhere before?" Tang Bao asked. Yu Songhuan suppressed his anger and said, "How could you not have seen me before? In the supermarket, you didn't give up your seat and said that I was taking advantage of my seniority." If Tang Bao couldn't remember, she would remind her. As expected, Tang Bao remembered. It wasn't like it was old news. How could she not remember? Just as Tang Bao was wondering why Yu Songhuan was here, Yu Songhuan said, "Since both of you are here, I'll be straightforward. Get a divorce." Tang Bao was stunned. She looked at Yu Songhuan and felt unhappy. Who was this person? What right did he have to ask her to divorce Di Haotian? Di Haotian's eyes were cold and dark. He turned to Tang Bao and said, "Come here." Tang Bao walked over hesitantly. Just as she was about to sit down beside Di Haotian, she was pulled over by Di Haotian's strength. She plopped down on Di Haotian's thigh. Tang Bao's face turned red. She lowered her voice and asked, "What are you doing?" In the castle, it was usually fine. This was in front of outsiders. Tang Bao's mind spun quickly. Could it be that Di Haotian wanted her to put on an act for this person? Therefore, Tang Bao wrapped his slender arms around Di Haotian's broad shoulders and cast a provocative look at Yu Songhuan. Yu Songhuan was infuriated by his smugness. Di Haotian naturally saw the provocative look on Tang Bao's face. If it were not for the fact that this was not the right place, he would have directly bit that little mouth. With a sullen face, she said in a low voice, "Baby, this is your mother-in-law. Don't make trouble." "Grandma? What grandma?" Tang Bao asked in confusion. However, when she saw the mockery in the depths of Di Haotian's dark eyes, and then looked at the angry Yu Songhuan, Tang Bao's soft body that was leaning against Di Haotian's sturdy chest slowly tensed up. He was furious. There was no longer any provocation on his face. He was anxious to get off Di Haotian's body. This was not good. How could he act like this in front of Di Haotian's mother? Di Haotian even said, "Don't make trouble. Don't make trouble. Why are you hugging me? You're hugging me and not letting go." Therefore, Tang Bao could not get off him no matter what. He was so anxious that his face turned even redder. "I'm taking advantage of my seniority. I can't afford to be her mother-in-law." Yu Songhuan was angry. Tang Bao's heart was filled with regret. How could she meet Di Haotian's mother while shopping? They even scolded each other. And just now, she said that the woman Di Haotian brought back was old. Tang Bao lowered his head and bit his lip. Di Haotian's dark eyes had a doting smile. "There's no seam on the ground. Don't look for it." Tang Bao turned his face and secretly glared at Di Haotian. "Why didn't you tell me?" Di Haotian looked up at Yu Songhuan. "She's still young and doesn't know any better. You don't have to hold it against her." "Fine, I won't hold it against her. But there are some things that I have to do. You have to get a divorce." The more Yu Songhuan got to know Tang Bao, the more he realized that she was not suitable for the Di family. He was dissatisfied with her every time. Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian's profile, who was silent. He would be lying if he said that he wasn't nervous. What would Di Haotian do in the face of the Empress Dowager's strong pressure? Tang Bao had no idea that Di Haotian's mother disliked her so much that she wanted Di Haotian to divorce her right in front of her. How much did she dislike her? What would Di Haotian do? That was his biological mother. I've only been married once in my life. Di Haotian's deep and hoarse voice was so clear and heavy in the quiet air. Tang Bao felt a pang in her heart. She didn't know what to say or how to react other than looking at Di Haotian's profile. Are you threatening me? Yu Songhuan asked angrily. I can compromise on anything except this, Di Haotian said. Yu Songhuan thought that Di Haotian would at least consider it if he made it so clear. Look at what he's saying. He's being so direct and ruthless. Yu Songhuan knew his own temperament too well. He was a man of his word. Did she want her son to be alone for the rest of his life? Yu Songhuan threw a dirty look at Tang Bao, rose to his feet, and left without saying anything. Tang Bao immediately broke free from Di Haotian's arms and ran after his mother. Mom, aren't you going to stay for dinner? Yu Songhuan's back stiffened. He turned his head and couldn't believe what Tang Bao had just called his mother. There was no joy. Instead, her expression became even worse. Tang Bao smiled at her. Yu Songhuan didn't want to watch any longer. He turned around and left. Tang Bao thought to himself that she had never been so polite to anyone in her life. But it seemed that these words didn't work on anyone. Di Haotian's mother didn't seem to be easy to coax. Just as Tang Bao was feeling gloomy, he felt a hard slap on his buttock. Tang Bao blushed and covered his buttocks. He angrily said to Di Haotian, "Why didn't your mother tell me that she was coming? It was so awkward just now. Weren't you very happy just now?" Di Haotian asked with a deep look in his eyes. Tang Bao's face had just cooled down when Di Haotian's words made it hot again. She said unhappily, "If I don't call you that, what should I call you? Or do you not like me calling you that? If you don't like it, I won't call you that next time." Di Haotian didn't say anything. He stepped forward and held her waist. Tang Bao looked shy. It was fine to hug her, but why did her lower abdomen have to be pressed against Di Haotian's abdomen every time they hugged? She could clearly feel the scorching heat. Such a huge lump was too uncomfortable for her. She could feel the strong force through the material of his pant. It was as if the danger would come out at any time. "Why are you hugging me? If you don't like it, just say it. It's not like I don't accept it. Why are you diverting your attention?" Tang Bao was dissatisfied. "What don't you like? You don't like me calling you mom that way." Di Haotian lowered his face and said in a low voice, "You have such a sweet mouth." Tang Bao's breathing was slightly irregular. His eyes were shining. In the next second, he swallowed his slightly irregular breathing. Tang Bao panicked and tried to escape. He stopped Di Haotian. "You're not allowed to kiss me." Chapter 155. I'm angry, so you're not allowed to kiss me. Make me a cake. Tang Bao's slender body hid outside the kitchen door, and her small head poked in. Di Haotian rolled up his sleeves, revealing a section of his strong arm. The way he made a cake for her was really sexy. Especially when he exerted force on his arm, the lines of his muscles could be seen tensing up. Bewitching. Lian was next to her like a living manual, explaining step by step. After all, Di Haotian had never made a cake before. A person like him, who was born into a noble family, had never even entered the kitchen. Tang Bao raised her phone and took a picture of Di Haotian making the cake. That was not enough. She even ran in and took pictures of Di Haotian's face. Di Haotian's cold and serious expression made Tang Bao happy. Happy? Di Haotian looked down at her with his long and narrow eyes. "I'll tell you when you're done making the cake." Tang Bao pursed her lips and smiled. Tang Bao had taken enough pictures, so she rested her face on her hands and watched. Di Haotian's dark eyes reflected Tang Bao's expectant little face, and he reached out to stroke her tender face. Tang Bao's face was slightly hot, and she glanced at Lian, who was beside her, looking down. She still shyly slapped Di Haotian's big hand away. Di Haotian did not tease her anymore and withdrew his hand. Tang Bao's face, which had been touched, instantly turned into a big dirty cat, but the big dirty cat had no idea how cute she looked. Lian saw it, but he did not laugh. He continued to maintain his high standards as a butler and did not show his emotions. Di Haotian. Do you like this look of mine? It's okay. Tang Bao wrinkled her nose. She looked like a kitten. She was not very satisfied with this answer. If you don't like women, you'll find a face like this? Who are you trying to fool? Tang Bao thought for a moment and asked, if a girl who looks like me appears in the future, will you like her? I won't. Isn't it too fake? I didn't even think before answering. There's no need to think. Why? You are one of a kind. Really? My face is unique, right? Tang Bao held his face happily. I just don't like people saying that I look like someone. Last time, a passerby said that I look like a certain celebrity. Are his eyes on the top of his head? Tang Bao complained for a while. Then, he really wanted to see his unique face. There was no mirror in the kitchen, so he took a knife and pointed it at her face. The stainless steel mirror reflected Tang Bao's face clearly, including the colorful jam on her face. What's this? Why is my face so messed up? Tang Bao wiped her face with her hand and found it sticky. She looked back at the jam and remembered that Di Haotian had touched her face. She glared at Di Haotian fiercely. You did this, didn't you? No. It's you. No, you dirted my face, so I'm going to dirty yours. Tang Bao dipped her fingers in jam and drew lines on Di Haotian's strong nose and face. She drew seriously. Di Haotian let her draw. After she finished drawing, Tang Bao was happy and smiled. Her eyes were smiling like crescent moons. Paint my mouth too. You want to paint your mouth? This is your request, isn't it? Don't blame me when the time comes. Tang Bao thought to herself that Di Haotian did not see how bad his face was. Otherwise, he would not have asked her to paint his mouth. Looking at the color of the jam, she was troubled. What color should I paint you? Green? Blue? Red? Di Haotian, what color do you like? I can choose. Of course, I'm very easy to talk to. What kind do you like? Strawberry. Strawberry? Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian sneakily. Di Haotian, I didn't know that you were such a charming man. Haha, don't worry, I won't laugh at you. Then, she held back her laughter and smeared the red jam evenly on Di Haotian's thin lips. Are you done? I'm done. Do you want to look in the mirror? Ha ha. Tang Bao, who was laughing happily, was hugged by Di Haotian by the waist. Her head was held and her small mouth was eaten. Di Haotian domineeringly invaded her mouth and kept going deeper. The taste of the strawberry jam spread in her mouth and body. It was too late for Tang Bao to understand Di Haotian's purpose now. He didn't let go of her until all the strawberry jam was stirred into her mouth and she finished it. Tang Bao stared at her watery eyes while panting. Her face was flushed. She was speechless. You're too much. Tang Bao, who had finally recovered, was furious. She turned to look at Lian. Lian had left long ago. She and Di Haotian were the only two people in the huge kitchen. How can you be so bad? Tang Bao punched Di Haotian's chest unhappily. How am I bad? You deliberately let me smear it on your mouth and then let me eat it. Don't think I can't tell. Is it delicious? Tang Bao looked proud. I don't know. I can't taste it. Then eat it again. No. Tang Bao was so scared that she ran away. Seeing that Di Haotian didn't chase after her, she leaned on the table and smiled proudly. Then she thought of something and the smile on her face disappeared. Di Haotian, does your mother dislike me very much? No. Why not? She already wants the two of us to divorce. After Tang Bao finished speaking, she looked at Di Haotian. Why don't we get a divorce? Stand there and don't move. Di Haotian threw the things in his hand and walked towards Tang Bao. Tang Bao was shocked and quickly ran away. She was about to run around the table. However, she was too slow and her reaction was too slow. She was directly hooked by Di Haotian's long arm. Tang Bao directly crashed into his strong chest. Tang Bao exclaimed, What did you say just now? I didn't hear you. Say it again. Di Haotian looked down at her coldly and dangerously. What did I say? I didn't say anything. Tang Bao would never admit it and play dumb. If she admitted it, she would be done for. You didn't say it? Di Haotian looked at her coldly. Okay, I said it. But what your mother said is true. Do you dare to say that your mother didn't say it? Tang Bao pouted. You only heard what she said and didn't hear what I said? Tang Bao's face was slightly hot, and her heart was beating like a fawn. Her two watery eyes were as innocent as a fawn's. Tang Bao's slender fingers picked at the buttons on her shirt, as if they were digging into Di Haotian's heart. It was itchy and his dark eyes deepened. It's right for her to be angry. She didn't know when I married you. I only told her later, Di Haotian said. Chapter 156. The more Tang Bao thought about it, the more he felt that it was Di Haotian's fault. He was so angry that he stomped his feet. Don't worry. I'm here. Nothing will happen. Tang Bao looked at him from the corner of his eyes and asked suspiciously, Really? There's nothing that I, Di Haotian, can't do. Tang Bao wanted to say that there was definitely something. But he thought that there was something that Di Haotian couldn't do. But he didn't think of it. Tang Bao wanted to leave Di Haotian's side, but Di Haotian easily killed it. His forces and elites were simply unfathomable to others. It was just that Tang Bao looked to the side. Does that include making a cake? But you haven't done it yet. Maybe the taste is hard to swallow. As soon as he finished speaking, his butt was spanked. Tang Bao blushed and angrily said to Di Haotian, who had turned around to make the cake, Why do you always spank my butt? I'm not a child. My parents didn't even spank my butt when I was young. No, did you wash your hands clean? Is there jam on my butt? Tang Bao almost jumped up and down with Di Haotian. After the cake was done, Tang Bao ate the cake. It was sweet in her mouth. The sweetness went from her mouth to her stomach and then to her heart. It was so strange. Her stomach and heart didn't have a sense of taste. Why could she feel it? But eating the sweet cake made her think of something terrible. That was Di Haotian. She couldn't just ignore Di Haotian's words, right? She was Di Haotian's mother after all. She was married to Di Haotian, and his mother was her mother-in-law. Did she have to be coaxed? While Di Haotian was dealing with Ti's affairs in the study, Tang Bao was alone on the sofa in the room playing games on his phone. He was absent-minded. He simply stopped playing. He walked out of the room alone. Seeing Zhang Li walking over, Tang Bao immediately stopped him. I need your help with something. What is it? Do you know how a daughter-in-law can make her mother-in-law like her? Tang Bao asked. Zhang Li was stunned by the question. But thinking of what happened in the afternoon, he didn't find it strange. Don't you think this is the most difficult problem to solve since ancient times? Do you want to discuss it with Lian? Tang Bao asked. This question's, it's useless. Why didn't it work? Tang Bao asked curiously. SSSS, isn't it on TV? In the end, they's TV of them's Tang Bao went back to his room and started looking for the TVs that Zhang Li had mentioned. The first TV show was about how her husband cheated on her and hid his secret stash of money, and how he felt that it was natural for him to do so. Her daughter-in-law swallowed her anger for the sake of her child, and her mother-in-law didn't like her, so she was bullied. Tang Bao watched the clip and wondered if his wife was crazy. The problem did not lie with her mother-in-law, but with her husband. This was different from the Tang Bao. There was no learning value. The second TV show was about the relationship between husband and wife. However, the mother-in-law was always causing trouble. Since her husband was in the middle, it was hard for her to behave. She might as well not see him. In the end, the conflict grew bigger and bigger. The wife and mother-in-law fought, and the husband chose to divorce. Tang Bao also felt that it was not like him. He was even less like Di Haotian. Di Haotian was not a coward. He was definitely the type of person who would not go back on his word. There was a third option that was even better. When his wife quarreled with his wife, the husband helped his mother-in-law quarrel and even slapped his wife. This was also not like Tang Bao and Di Haotian. Tang Bao could not be bothered to watch it anymore. He leaned lazily on the sofa. Although it was not like him, the divorce was related to his mother-in-law. Tang Bao could not help but sigh. She had to start fighting with her mother-in-law at such a young age. Why was her life so bad? Why are you sighing? Di Haotian's tall and straight figure entered the room. His innate aura was noble, with a hint of cold arrogance. Even his gaze was oppressive. Nothing. I just couldn't find a good TV. Tang Bao did not intend to tell Di Haotian what he wanted to do. He would definitely not let him do it. He was a domineering demon. Have you taken a shower? Di Haotian's low voice was dangerous. Yes. Didn't I say that we could take a shower together when I go back to my room? I've been waiting for you for a long time. You're the one who didn't come back. How can you blame me? Tang Bao's eyes flickered. Of course, she did not want to take a shower with Di Haotian. That was why she wanted to take a shower as soon as Di Haotian came out of the room. Taking a shower with this person was unruly. He said that he wanted to help her take a shower, but in fact, he wanted to touch her. Take a shower again. Di Haotian's voice was low and majestic. Why? Tang Bao was unhappy and jumped up from the sofa. I have the final say. The next day, Tang Bao continued to think about her big problem in the company. She walked around the office. Don't tell me that you're thinking about the company's business development? Wan Malay walked over and asked. Where are you going? Tang Bao asked. This document is for Vice President Zhou, Wan Malay said. That vice president was actually from T. The company was decided by the vice president and then handed over to T. Although the Tang family's company was independent, people who did not know would think that it was under T. In other words, Tang Bao really came to the company to sleep. It was not a big deal to occasionally take care of things. Vice President Zhou? Why don't I know him? Tang Bao was confused. See, even the vice president of her company did not know. Young Master was probably not satisfied with the previous one, so he changed it. What's Di Haotian doing? Why didn't he tell me that he changed the people in my company? Isn't he being too nosy? Tang Bao felt that it was really strange. Wan Malay thought, ever since you took over the company, hasn't young Master always been like this? Then why didn't Vice President Zhou come to see me? After all, I'm the boss of the company. Vice President Zhou said that he wanted to see you. Didn't you say that you don't have time for the time being? Did I say that? Yes, Wan Malay said with certainty. She was the one who passed it on. Tang Bao touched his chin and thought for a moment. He said, Don't send the documents. Call him to come and see me. Okay. Wan Malay went to make the call. Tang Bao sat behind her desk seriously and waited for the so-called Vice President Zhou to come. After a while, there was a knock on the door and he came in. When Tang Bao saw the so-called Vice President Zhou, he was so shocked that he almost fell from his chair. Aren't you a lawyer? Tang Bao asked with widened eyes. Zhou Jisen had the temperament of an elite. He smiled like an elite and said, I changed my profession. Doesn't being a lawyer earn money? It's okay. Tang Bao thought, what do you mean it's okay? I think it's Di Haotian's idea. After Zhou Jisen left, Wan Malay asked, Do you know him? Chapter 157. He's omnipotent, isn't he? A lawyer can be a vice president? Wan Malay was surprised. I think it's new too. Tang Bao frowned. Seeing that Wan Malay was going to work again, she quickly pulled her back. Let me ask you something. Hurry up and tell me. Don't delay my work. This was a rare phenomenon of a subordinate despising her superior. I want to deal with someone. You walked here for a long time just now because you were thinking about this. Yes. You want to deal with the young emperor? Then don't think about it. It's not realistic even if you dream. It's not him. Then other than the young emperor, who else would make you spend so much effort to deal with? If you really can't deal with it, just tell the young emperor directly. Then he'll be finished. Finished? What do you mean? That's Di Haotian's mother. Is she easy to deal with? Why do you want to deal with his mother? It's a long story. Tang Bao told Wan Malay the whole story and asked, is she difficult to deal with? I'm thinking of a way to coax her now, make her happy, and then make her like me. Wow, you're really a member of the Di family now. You're starting to think of ways to make your mother-in-law happy. Then I'm already married to Di Haotian. I can't make the family awkward, right? I'm thinking on the bright side. Besides, won't you have a mother-in-law in the future? There's no harm in thinking about it now. Tang Bao looked at her sideways. Then how do you want to coax her? I've thought of spending money to buy something for her, but it seems that she can't lack those things. She can buy them herself. Why don't I do some housework for her? Don't all mothers-in-law like hard-working daughters-in-law? Forget it. The more you sweep the floor in the dormitory, the dirtier it gets. When I asked you to boil water, you almost boiled the kettle dry. When you cleaned the toilet, you broke the toilet. Are you sure you want to do that? I'm afraid that after you do the housework, the young emperor's mother will dislike you. What is it? She hates you. Then I'll cater to her preferences. But what does she like? I heard from the housekeeper that Di Haotian's mother is a Buddhist. Am I supposed to buy a bodhisattva for her? Tang Bao said in distress. You might as well build a temple for her. Is that okay? Tang Bao asked. Are you serious? If you're not serious, why are you talking about it? In the afternoon, Tang Bao called the castle and asked Zhang Li to accompany her to visit Yusonghuan. Zhang Li agreed. However, when it was time, Zhang Li still hadn't arrived. He called her cell phone and found that she seemed to be working somewhere else. Don't come over. I'll go there to find you. It's on the way anyway. Tang Bao did not ask why Zhang Li had come out to work. Didn't he say that he would accompany her? Tang Bao saw from afar that Zhang Li was talking on the phone. He seemed to be quarreling with someone. He didn't look good and was very angry. Tang Bao had never seen Zhang Li like this. When he saw her coming, he quickly hung up the phone. Young madam, you're here. Shall we go over now? Are you okay? I'm fine. Zhang Li quickly put his cell phone in his pocket. When the two of them were about to get into the car, a man walked over like a rascal and glanced at Tang Bao's body. Oh, you're not bad looking. When he saw Tang Bao's chest, his eyes lit up. You're so well endowed. I like it. Zhang Li immediately stood in front of Tang Bao and was frightened. What are you doing? Go away. Why are you in such a hurry? Didn't you say that I'm here to return the money? Aren't I here now? Tang Bao, who was being protected at the back, was surprised. Someone Zhang Li knew? How could Zhang Li know such a person? He didn't look like a good person. Then where's your money? Why don't you lend me some more? When I recover my capital, I'll return it to you with interest. Zhang Chao, do you have to live like this? Zhang Li was angry. How am I living like this? Aren't you working for Di Haotian, the king of Di City? This amount of money is just a drop in the ocean for him. Zhang Li came out today to accompany Tang Bao and didn't want to talk to him about this here. He also didn't want to delay Tang Bao's business. Young madam, let's get in the car first, Zhang Li said. When Zhang Chao heard this, his frivolous face immediately smiled. So this is young madam, young master's wife? I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you just now. Please don't take offense. Young madam, ignore him. Let's get in the car. Tang Bao turned around and got into the car. In the car, Tang Bao asked, Who is this? It's my younger brother. Zhang Li couldn't say it out loud. Your younger brother? He asked you to borrow money? Zhang Li nodded and found it even harder to say it out loud. Did you lend him a lot of money? Zhang Li nodded again. I gave him all my savings. After that, I borrowed some money from Lian. However, he blocked it all. I originally wanted to return Lian's money first. Who knew that he wanted to borrow money again? He must have gambled again. Zhang Li was really angry and hateful to have such a younger brother. He hoped that he would turn over a new leaf. He didn't expect that it was useless. How much did Lian lend you? Tang Bao was suddenly curious. 500,000. That much? Tang Bao was surprised. Seeing Zhang Li's silence, he knew that it was true. I couldn't tell. Lian looks like a stingy person, but he actually lent you so much. I regret borrowing money from him. Now, he didn't know how to pay it back. Let me tell you, people who gamble can't be trusted. It's useless no matter how much money you give him. I just couldn't bear to see him being chased by loan sharks. I only have one younger brother. I understand. But Lian is really good to you. Tang Bao sighed. Zhang Li didn't understand the meaning of that sentence for a moment. However, Tang Bao didn't say anything else and looked out of the car window. It was as if it was meaningless to say that. They arrived at Yu Songhuan's residence. Tang Bao was directly blocked outside the door. I said, "Did you talk to old madam?" Tang Bao stood outside and asked the servant inside the iron gate. I did. Old madam said she doesn't want to see you. Did you tell her that I have something to say to her? Tang Bao asked. I did. Zhang Li said to the servant kindly, "Young madam is here to see old madam on behalf of the young master. It's useless to say anything. Old madam won't see you." After saying that, the servant went inside. Hey, what kind of attitude do you think this person has? Tang Bao was dissatisfied. Why don't we go back? Tang Bao was rejected and could only go back. However, she thought that she would come again next time. She would be a fool to believe him. At night, Tang Bao thought about whether to help return Zhang Li's money to Lian first. So, she went to look for Zhang Li. When she walked downstairs, she saw Zhang Li in the distance. Just as she was about to speak, she saw that Lian was also there. She felt that he was hiding in the dark and peeking. The two of them faced each other and she didn't know what they were talking about, but judging from their expressions, it didn't seem to be something happy. Could it be because of the borrowing of money? Tang Bao stuck out his buttocks and observed in secret. Chapter 158. Tang Bao didn't notice at all. She was so engrossed in reading that her little butt was swaying from side to side. It was like a butt that deserved a spanking. "Don't worry, you can give it to me when you have it," Lian said. But the more Lian said this, the more guilty Zhang Li felt. "Can I share it with you? Even if I take my monthly salary, I'll pay it back." It was basically impossible for Zhang Chao to exchange it for money. She was too naive to think that he would pay it back. "If it makes you feel better, you can do that." Lian didn't say anything else and turned to leave. Zhang Li was very grateful to Lian. Tang Bao, who was hiding in the dark, looked at the smile on Zhang Li's face and felt that she shouldn't help him pay back the money. She didn't know why, but she felt that way. "Are you done reading? Oh my God, you scared me to death." Tang Bao sat on the ground. She saw Di Haotian's tall figure standing in front of her. He was so tall that she had to tilt her neck to see his face. Then, she was dissatisfied. "Di Haotian, why are you standing behind me without saying a word? Then why are you hiding here?" Di Haotian wasn't asking, but interrogating. Because he knew what Tang Bao was doing sneakily. Tang Bao clapped her hands and stood up. "Nothing, I just wanted to look for Zhang Li, and then I saw Zhang Li and Lian talking. I didn't want to disturb them, so I just waited here. Since they've all left, shall we go back to our room and sleep?" "Bao Bao, are you inviting me to sleep with you?" Di Haotian's dark eyes had an indescribable luster. Tang Bao was stunned, then she patted her mouth and yawned. "I'm so sleepy, I'm going to sleep. Why am I so tired today?" she mumbled as she went to her room. Tang Bao didn't expect that someone would go to the company to look for her. This man was Zhang Li's younger brother. When Wan Malay told her about it, Tang Bao did not quite believe it. "What did you say his name was?" "His name is Zhang Chao. Do you want to see him?" Tang Bao thought for a moment and said, "Yes, but he's only allowed to wait at the entrance of the company." She wanted to know what Zhang Chao wanted to do. How bold of him to come and look for her. However, people who gambled did not care about their own family. Are you going to stand there and talk to him? Wan Malay asked. I've just had my fill, so I'll treat it as digestion. When Tang Bao walked out of the company, he saw Zhang Chao leaning against the wall. Seeing her come out, he stood up straight and said with a cheeky smile, Young madam, I'm sorry for making you come out to see me personally. Compared to you, those people at the front desk are really snobbish. I said that I was very close to you, but they actually didn't let me in. I was the one who didn't allow it. Tang Bao sized up Zhang Chao. He was dressed differently from last time. Last time, he was very casual and tacky. This time, his hair was waxed and he was wearing a suit. It was neither fish nor fowl. Why are you looking for me? Nothing much, I just want to get to know young madam more. Young madam is really young and beautiful. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Even I'm attracted to you. Tang Bao looked at Zhang Chao and said with a friendly look in his eyes. Instantly, he felt like he had *ket a cactus. When are you going to pay back the money you owe Zhongli? Tang Bao asked. Zhang Chao immediately acted like a rich man. I have plenty of money, but I've been having some cash flow problems recently. I'll immediately pay her when I have some money. Why did Tang Bao not believe his words? If it weren't for his brother, Zhongli wouldn't have been cheated out of his money. Young madam, what do you think of me? Isn't it especially manly? Zhang Chao's hand brushed through his shiny hair as he asked confidently. Pretty good. Tang Bao felt that it was better not to discourage a lunatic. Otherwise, his illness would get worse. The doctor said that lunatics were not easy to discourage. After she said that, Zhang Chao became even more proud. He couldn't suppress the excitement in his heart and asked, Then, young madam, do you have any intention of keeping me as your sugar daddy? What the hell? Tang Bao was shocked. Keep me as your sugar daddy? Aren't there many rich women nowadays who like to keep gigolos? Also, the price of my type is relatively low. It won't be too high. What do you think? Tang Bao finally calmed down and said, It's not about the price. I think there's something wrong with your brain. Are you an idiot? Keep you as my sugar daddy? Are you crazy about money? Which part of you looks like a gigolo from head to toe? I think you look like an idiot. Let me tell you, you can't just look at appearance. I have an inner quality. If I didn't have an inner quality, would I say that? What inner quality? Tang Bao was stumped. Are you tempted? Zhang Chao was hit in the face by something. He covered his nose as blood flowed out. He was instantly angry. What is it? How dare you hit me? Then, he stared blankly at the brick in Tang Bao's hand. Tang Bao threw the brick away and stretched his wrists and shins. Get out of here if you don't want to die. I'm telling you, I won't give up, Zhang Chao said and ran away with his tail between his legs. Tang Bao sneered. Keep you as my sugar daddy? Don't you care about Di Haotian's feelings? You actually lost to a retard? Tang Bao thought that Zhang Chao was just talking tough and wouldn't come. He didn't expect that he would really come the next day. No. Tang Bao, is she your admirer? Wan Malay asked. Don't disgust me, okay? I didn't see anyone. You can go down and take a look. Her outfit and hairstyle are so shiny that even a fly would fall to its death. Forget it, I still have work to do. Then, Tang Bao thought about it. What if Di Haotian found out about Zhang Chao's behavior? Di Haotian would definitely be ruthless to Zhang Chao, but he didn't want to implicate her. Moreover, Zhang Chao was like a mangy dog that couldn't be beaten away. What should he do? When they were in the castle, Tang Bao asked Zhongli, What is your brother most afraid of? He's most afraid of not letting him gamble. Zhongli was depressed when he thought of his brother. Other than this, for example, he's afraid of something? Zhongli thought about it and said, He was afraid of boneless worms when he was young. Does this count? Yes. Tang Bao smiled. Tang Bao got a small box of boneless worms from the pet shop. As soon as the lid was opened, the worms inside wriggled together. Tang Bao had goosebumps all over his body. It was really disgusting. Juan Malay entered the office and said, "Your admirer is here again. I went to see him in person this time. He's really greasy." "Has he left?" "I asked him to leave, but he didn't." "Okay, I'll go see him." Chapter 159. Zhang Chao changed his outfit again, but it was still a temporary solution. Zhang Chao's eyes lit up when he saw Tang Bao. Then he said arrogantly, "Are you fascinated by my charm, or can't help but come to see me?" "I knew it." Tang Bao looked at him expressionlessly as he boasted. "Do you know what my name means?" Tang Bao was stunned. There was a meaning? "Zhang Chao, the first letter of pinyin can form president, which means that I will be the president in the future." Tang Bao felt that if he looked at this person one more time, he would want to poke his own eyes out. "Turn around? What for? Didn't you want me to support you? You're not willing at all?" "Why would I? I'm more than happy to do it for you." Zhang Chao turned around with a cheeky smile. Tang Bao shook his head and sighed, then poured the boneless worm from the box onto Zhang Chao's shoulder. Now he really couldn't wait to see Zhang Chao's reaction to wash his eyes. "What is it?" Zhang Chao asked. Tang Bao didn't speak. He stepped back and kept a distance from him. Zhang Chao felt something crawling on his shoulder and turned his head to look. "Ah!" He jumped up and wailed, "Worm! Go away! Ha 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 ha!" Seeing Zhang Chao jumping and running, Tang Bao laughed. "Let's see if you dare to come again next time. Ha ha, this is so funny." Tang Bao's gaze unconsciously fell on the other side. Di Haotian's mighty car had stopped there without him knowing. His heart suddenly thumped. The smile on his face suddenly disappeared, and he tensed up as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Shit. He was seen. The car stopped there, and the bodyguard's car didn't move either. Even He Ju didn't get out of the car to open the door. The car didn't move. Tang Bao didn't move either. Finally, Tang Bao moved. Because even if they didn't see Di Haotian in person, just looking at his car, they couldn't withstand the suffocating pressure. Tang Bao resigned himself to his fate and walked towards the car. As soon as he opened the car door, he saw Di Haotian's gloomy face and the bone-chilling cold in the car. The cold air was emitted from Di Haotian's body. Tang Bao suppressed the trembling of his heart and laughed dryly. "Di Haotian, why are you here? Are you here to see me?" "I can't come." Di Haotian's calm voice seemed to hide a volcano. "How is that possible? Your arrival is a pleasant surprise for me. I'm so happy that I can't wait to kiss you." "Let's kiss then." Tang Bao's expression changed. "Do you really want to kiss me?" Seeing Di Haotian's cold face, they discussed, "Why don't we go to the office?" Di Haotian's face was still cold. Tang Bao looked left and right. Seeing that no one was around, he braced himself and got into the car. Sitting in the seat, he tilted his face and kissed Di Haotian's thin lip. Then, he said with a red face, "Right? I'm happy to see you." A kiss was not enough to loosen Di Haotian's cold face. Instead, it became colder. Because Tang Bao seemed to be guilty. What's wrong? What's the first point of the 3 obedience and 4 virtues?" Tang Bao was terrified. She trembled when she heard the 3 obedience and 4 virtues. She lowered her head and said, "You're not allowed to look at men other than my husband. Did you do that?" Di Haotian's voice was several degrees colder. Tang Bao knew that Di Haotian's possessiveness was coming out to scare people again. So he quickly explained, "Do you know who that man was? He's Zhang Li's younger brother. He came to look for you? He probably ran out of money from gambling. Zhang Li didn't lend him money, so he wanted to get some money from me. You saw it too. I scared him away." Tang Bao thought about it seriously. "Di Haotian, why don't we change the first point of the 3 obedience and 4 virtues?" This request was too difficult. Tang Bao was afraid that if there was a chance to change the second and third point, would she die? Tang Bao's gaze timidly glanced at Di Haotian's body. Every time he glanced at her, he saw despair on her face. Di Haotian restrained his coldness and asked calmly, "How do you want to change it?" Tang Bao immediately came back to her senses. "Well, change it to not having physical contact with men other than my husband. What do you think? You still want to have physical contact with other men?" Di Haotian's voice suddenly became frighteningly cold. "No, no, I didn't mean that." "Then shut up." Di Haotian's face was cold. Tang Bao pursed her lips and puffed up her cheeks angrily. Seeing that she was obedient, Di Haotian asked, "Why didn't you tell me?" "Speak." Di Haotian frowned. "Didn't you ask me to shut up?" Tang Bao said innocently. Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian's scary eyes and immediately said, "I can solve it myself. You see, he ran away. He definitely won't come back next time." Di Haotian looked at her coldly. "Di Haotian, I know you won't be happy if I didn't tell you this, but I really do need your help. To be exact, I want to help Zhang Li." Di Haotian's face darkened and he didn't say anything. Tang Bao took the initiative to approach Di Haotian. She hugged Di Haotian's arm with both hands and said coquettishly, "That Zhang Li is your man. No matter what, you should help him." "My man?" Di Haotian stared at her with his dark eyes. "Aren't you my man?" Tang Bao blushed and pouted. "You know what I mean. Is it fun to play with me like this?" Di Haotian directly pulled her onto his lap and stared at her intensely. "When did I play with you? Didn't you just say that?" Tang Bao felt awkward. "To me, that's not playing with you." "Then what is playing with you? Are you sure you want to know?" Di Haotian looked at her teasingly. You. I'm talking business with you." Tang Bao's face was as red as an attractive red apple. "Are you going to help me or not?" "Yes." A smile immediately appeared on Tang Bao's face as he asked, "Then have you thought of how to help? This is gambling. I heard that gamblers are very cold-blooded and scary." "Just chop off his hands and he won't be able to gamble anymore, right?" Di Haotian said calmly. Tang Bao felt that gamblers were cold-blooded. Di Haotian was even scarier than gamblers. Di Haotian looked at her adorable and dazed look and asked with a wicked look, "Are you afraid?" "I'm not afraid. But I don't think this method will work. If you chop off Zhang Chao's hands, won't Zhang Li die of sadness? After all, he's his brother." Tang Bao recalled the time when she was molested by two men in a bar. Then, Di Haotian directly cut off the tendons of her hands and feet. That was really cruel. She believed that it was not impossible for Di Haotian to do that. Chapter 160. Tang Bao didn't understand why Di Haotian's expression changed so suddenly. "Zhang Chao, what's wrong? Are you so close that you know his name?" Tang Bao was stunned by Di Haotian's question. "It's Zhang Li's brother. She told me. Why would Zhang Li tell you her brother's name?" "I went out with Zhang Li once and happened to bump into him. Then we talked about it." Tang Bao felt a chill run down his spine. Di Haotian was very cunning. His eyes were as sharp as knives, as if he could dissect someone and see through them. Di Haotian didn't ask any more questions because there was nothing he didn't know. Making her nervous was just a small punishment for her. "Di Haotian, you're not really going to chop off his hand, are you?" Tang Bao was anxious. Did she do something wrong with her good intentions? Don't plead for mercy for other men. This doesn't count, right? Tang Bao was shocked. "It does." "Then do you know how to chop off his hand or not?" "If you say another word, I'll chop off his hand." Tang Bao pursed his lips and smiled. "I knew you wouldn't. Di Haotian, you're the best. You'll soon know that I'm not good." "What do you mean?" Tang Bao's nerves immediately tensed up vigilantly. In Tang Bao's office. "Straighten your hands." Di Haotian roared majestically. Tang Bao immediately straightened his hands. At this moment, she was facing the wall and her hands were at the same level as her shoulders. What a sin! She had never been punished like this by her teacher when she was a child. "Di Haotian, please, my arms will be tired," Tang Bao wailed. It was so embarrassing to punish such an adult like a child. Even if no one in her office saw it, she still felt embarrassed facing the air. You didn't think of those who did wrong? Di Haotian walked toward Tang Bao gracefully like a fierce beast. What kind of mistake is that? Tang Bao muttered. Stand for another 10 minutes? Oh no. I was wrong, okay? Tang Bao's head was almost steaming. How could he treat her like this? The Tang Bao hated the 3 obediences and 4 virtues. No. Tang Bao was furious. Di Haotian, don't go overboard. What's the point of this? I'm the boss of a company, and this is how you treat me? Let others see where my dignity lies. Then you can put your hand down, Di Haotian said in an easy tone. Tang Bao immediately cowered. She didn't dare to do that. If she did, wouldn't she be punished even more horribly by Di Haotian? Tang Bao answered his own question, yes. Di Haotian, I beg you. Tang Bao was begging when her hand tightened. She didn't even need to look down to know what kind of evil scene it was. Why aren't you begging anymore? You. What do you want? Tang Bao bit her pink lips and was about to cry. She was about to break. Tang Bao retracted her hand and was about to stop him. Then she heard Di Haotian's dangerous voice. Try putting your hand down. Tang Bao stretched out her hand again. She wanted to cry but had no tears. How do you feel? Di Haotian asked in a hoarse voice. You. Go away, Tang Bao's face was red and her breath was short. She wanted to move but couldn't. It was as if her limbs were loose and she was letting Di Haotian do whatever he wanted to her. Bao Bao, are you begging for mercy? Tang Bao was embarrassed and angry. She wanted to bite Di Haotian. Not only did this person act evil, but he also spoke so viciously. I didn't. Di Haotian, didn't you say that as long as you're angry, I can kiss you? Tang Bao said unsteadily. Then did you kiss me? I kissed you in the car. My anger has subsided? Tang Bao finally knew why she ended up like this. If she had kissed Emperor Haotian the first time, she would have kissed him until he calmed down. Wouldn't she have gotten nothing? Then can I kiss you now? Tang Bao asked pitifully. She was forced to take the initiative. She was really pitiful. After she asked, Di Haotian didn't respond. Instead, he lifted her chin forcefully and turned her face back. Di Haotian's long and narrow eyes looked even narrower in his slightly narrowed state, like a sharp sword. His voice was low and hoarse. Since you're so proactive, I'll kiss you until you suffocate. Then, Tang Bao's small mouth was kissed in that position. Tang Bao's breath stopped, and her watery eyes blinked uncontrollably. Tang Bao was almost kissed to death. She might be the first person in the world to be kissed to death. This was simply a world-class joke. Di Haotian sat on the chair with his long legs crossed. Even if he crossed his legs, it couldn't hide his physical discomfort at this moment. He was trying hard to endure his heavy breathing. He suppressed the evil fire in his heart. Tang Bao stood a little far away from the desk, holding a glass of water. Her lips were red and swollen, and she looked like she had just been ravaged. Why are you staring at me? It's not my fault. Didn't you say that it would be fine if I kissed your anger? Tang Bao expressed her grievance and protest. Di Haotian's face became even paler. He kissed her with anger, but his lust came up. His lust was even fiercer than his anger. I should eat you right now. Di Haotian's voice was terrifyingly fierce. His eyes were as fierce as when he saw his prey. Tang Bao's hand trembled, and she almost dropped the glass. In order to divert Di Haotian's attention, she didn't want to be treated like a delicacy at any time and place. She hurriedly said, "It's time to eat. Where are you going to eat?" "Let's eat here." "The company cafeteria? Do you have a problem with that?" "No." Tang Bao thought to herself, "It's not that I have a problem with that, it's that I have a lot of problems with that." If she went to the cafeteria with Di Haotian, how sensational would it be? "How about this, I'll treat you to a meal outside." Tang Bao's watery eyes rolled as she said. Chapter 161. Tang Bao immediately laughed it off. Look at what you're saying. Am I that kind of person? I'm just afraid that you won't be used to the company's food. Alright, she was just pretending to be powerful. She was burning the bridge after crossing it. Then let's go. Di Haotian stood up. Tang Bao was very depressed. Why did they have to go to the company cafeteria to eat? It was not like it was a delicacy. What was there to eat? If everyone in the company saw Di Haotian's appearance, how could they still eat? They were probably so scared that they did not even dare to sit. Why aren't you leaving? A low and dignified voice sounded. Tang Bao braced herself and followed. He had no choice. Di Haotian looked at the cafeteria. Sure enough, those who were eating or had finished eating all stood up cautiously. No need to stand. Di Haotian's voice deepened. Those people were so intimidated that they sat down again. This was even more effective than an order. The cafeteria was open, so Di Haotian and Tang Bao sat down in front of everyone. However, the one who felt uncomfortable was not Di Haotian, but Tang Bao and her poor employees. Those who did not come to eat might as well not come. And if they were eating, would they really be chewing and swallowing slowly? They would just leave. Tang Bao looked at the empty cafeteria and said to Di Haotian, "Look, I told you not to come to the cafeteria to eat, right? Isn't it bad to starve them? I'm a good boss." "I told them not to eat?" Di Haotian asked with a cold face. Tang Bao was speechless. Because Di Haotian did not tell others not to eat, but how many people could withstand his aura? However, Di Haotian could not be blamed for his aura. In the end, Tang Bao sighed deeply in his heart and said nothing. "Do you eat this in the company every day?" Di Haotian threw his chopsticks on the table. Tang Bao was chewing rice in his mouth. He looked up in confusion and asked, "What's wrong? Is it not delicious? Is this for pigs?" Tang Bao really wanted to smash the bowl on Di Haotian's face. She suppressed the anger in her stomach, but she didn't dare to get angry. She said, "How can the food in the cafeteria be so exquisite?" Actually, the food in the cafeteria was very good. Of course, compared to Di Haotian food, there was a world of difference. However, he couldn't possibly hire a chef, could he? Who allowed you to eat here? This is my company's canteen. Where else can I eat if not here? I'll ask the chef to come over and make it especially for you. That's not good, is it? What will other people think? Tang Bao felt that this was not good. What special treatment was this? You're the boss here. No one dares to think too much. Don't you have me behind you? Di Haotian said arrogantly. When he saw the food, his face darkened again. He couldn't bear it anymore. Look at what you're eating. Those who don't know will think that the company is going bankrupt. Tang Bao. She shouldn't have let Di Haotian come to the cafeteria. Then, they went out for lunch. Moreover, it was the best restaurant Di Haotian found. The food was the best and most expensive. When Tang Bao saw the prices on the menu, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Was this even food? Was it diamonds? Well, when he saw the delicious food in front of him, Tang Bao couldn't help but swallow his saliva. If he didn't swallow, his saliva would flow out from the corner of his mouth. Di Haotian looked at Tang Bao's greedy face and his face became even colder. From now on, you'll come here to eat every day. If you don't, I'll ask someone to send it over. Isn't that too wasteful? Di Haotian's face turned cold. Why do I earn so much money? Why? To spend it on you. Tang Bao's face turned red. He lowered his head and muttered, "How can I spend so much?" "Then spend as much as you can." "I'll spend as much as I can." Who doesn't know how to spend money? Tang Bao buried his head and began to eat. Di Haotian looked at her satisfied and innocent little face. His cold heart instantly melted. His icy gaze softened and enveloped her with a boundless gaze. Even if he made her suffocate, he wouldn't let go. After Tang Bao was full, he said, "I'm going out to walk around and digest." "I'll go with you." "No need. I'll go with Millet." Tang Bao refused. "I'm not as good as her?" Di Haotian's cold eyes flashed. No, why are you shopping as a man? You're not suitable. I'm leaving. You can go back by yourself. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he stood up and ran away. Although Di Haotian's face was dark, he didn't stop the person who ran away quickly. Other girls hoped that their boyfriend or husband would accompany them shopping, but she was the opposite. Her unpretentious look was very interesting. Tang Bao ran not far away. When he saw that Di Haotian didn't chase after him, he felt an indescribable sense of accomplishment. Then, he called Wan Malay. Let's go out for a walk. Where are you? Tang Bao gave him an address. You still have to take a car. Where did you go to eat? Aya, come quickly. I'll wait for you. Hurry up. After Wan Malay arrived, the two of them went to a nearby mall to play. I don't know what good things you did in your previous life, Wan Malay said. Good things? Yes, young Master D is really good to you. I've never said that he's so good to his wife. You see, ordinary husbands don't even treat their wives this well, let alone someone as powerful as young Master D. Tang Bao thought to himself. She kept saying that she dug up Di Haotian's ancestral grave in her previous life, which was why she met Di Haotian and was oppressed and tortured by him. But was it really as good as what Wan Malay said? She had never experienced Di Haotian's dominance and power. If she had, she wouldn't have said that. By the way, do you know where this mall is? Where is it? It's just a large mall, Tang Bao said indifferently. 10 years ago there was a terrorist attack here. Xiao Rui said that she saved young Master D's mother here. What? Here? Tang Bao looked around in disbelief. That's right. A lot of people died after the explosion. I was scared out of my wits when I saw it on TV. You still remember? Tang Bao was curious. How can I not remember? It was such a big incident and we're already 10 years old. Of course, I remember. You don't remember? Wan Malay couldn't understand. I don't remember. Then how did you know about the terrorist attack? I think I heard it from someone a few years ago. A few years ago? Didn't you experience it? It was broadcasted everywhere at that time. People all over the world felt it. Wan Malay asked in disbelief. I think I forgot? Tang Bao also realized a problem. She didn't seem to remember it clearly when she was 10 years old. Chapter 162. Tang Bao was a little absent-minded as she recalled her memories when she was 10 years old. She only remembered one thing, and that was her mother's illness and death. That was the saddest thing for her. She really had no recollection of the other natural and man-made disasters. Wan Malay said that the whole world knew about it. Why didn't she know? It was really strange. What's wrong? Wan Malay asked when he saw Tang Bao's suddenly unhappy expression. Do you really remember the terrorist attack? Tang Bao asked uncertainly. Why don't I remember it at all? Then what do you remember? I remember that my mother passed away. Wan Malay thought for a while and said, maybe it's because your mother's death made you too sad, so you don't remember. That's normal. I think so too. Tang Bao thought of this possibility and could not think of anything else. She did not dwell on it anymore. Di Haotian's tall and straight figure stood not far away. He quietly looked at the slender figure in front of the jewelry counter that the girl liked. There was a smile on her face as she picked out a variety of hair clip. She was carefree, pure and flawless. Back then, the terrorist attack destroyed everything here. The image of the girl who was crushed under the rock appeared in his mind again. Her face was covered in blood, she was in pain, and she was weak. Every time Di Haotian thought about it, his emotions were affected with the hair clip in her hair. When she looked at herself in the mirror, she saw another figure in the mirror. She was stunned. When she turned around, she saw Di Haotian standing not far away. His expression was cold, and his expression was dazed. It was as if he was looking at her, but also as if he was not. Tang Bao had never seen Di Haotian like this, so she was also stunned. Until Di Haotian walked towards her. Have fun. I'm just passing by. Di Haotian looked down at her. Oh, okay. Tang Bao nodded in a daze. Then, she watched in a daze as Di Haotian turned around and left. Did he just say a few words and leave? Wan Millet whispered into her ear, young Master D looks at you as if you're the only one in the world. I don't believe that he didn't fall in love with you at first sight. Who said that? Tang Bao blushed slightly. I said it. Seriously, you and young Master D can go shopping directly after eating. Why did you drag me along? Wan Millet asked, puzzled. I'm a person who forgets my friends. I'm not like some people who run away as soon as they hear Gu Linshan's name. Is there? That time we drank tea. I don't remember. Wan Millet acted shamelessly. It's okay if you don't remember. I'll remember it for you. Tang Bao was bickering with Wan Millet. He thought to himself, how did Di Haotian pass by here and come in? He didn't look like he had passed by. Looking for her? Didn't he know that she was shopping with Wan Millet? She really couldn't figure him out. In the evening, Tang Bao came down from upstairs and was about to find some food. Zhang Li walked over and seemed to be looking for her. Young madam, thank you so much. Thank me? What did I do? Tang Bao thought to herself, what did I do? She couldn't remember for a moment. It's my brother's matter. Young Master D help. But I know that if it wasn't for you, young Master D wouldn't have specially dealt with my brother's matter. He wouldn't even know about it. Zhang Li was very grateful. It's a small matter. Di Haotian didn't do much. It's nothing. Tang Bao waved his hand and said nonchalantly. But I'm curious. How did Di Haotian treat your brother? When young Master D went to look for my brother, he was already scared out of his wit. Moreover, young Master D said that whoever gambled with my brother wouldn't be able to live. Oh my God, is this a threat? No one dares to provoke young Master D, Zhang Li said in a low voice. Tang Bao sighed. Okay, it's settled. You don't have to worry about it in the future. As for Lian's money, you can slowly pay it back. Yes? Zhang Li remembered. Young madam, why did you come down? Oh, I forgot. I'm a little hungry. Go and get me some food. Didn't young Master D not let you eat at night? It's not good for your stomach. It's okay. He's answering the phone. He doesn't know that I came down to look for food. I'll go up after I finish eating. No. Tang Bao was puzzled. Why not? Young Master D said that you can't eat, so you can't eat. You just said that you were grateful to me. Didn't you say that you were grateful to me? Can you give me some food? Gratitude is gratitude. Eating is eating. Young madam, you won't be hungry if you sleep early. It's only 8 o'clock now. Why sleep? Are you going to give it to me or not? No. Zhang Li insisted. Young madam, you're not hungry. You're craving food, aren't you? If I had known, I wouldn't have helped you. Tang Bao flung her sleeves and left angrily. Zhang Li looked at Tang Bao and didn't give her anything to eat. The habit of eating at night couldn't be formed. It was very harmful to the body. Tang Bao entered the door. Her face was still a little pale. Bang! She slammed the door shut. She looked up and saw Di Haotian standing inside, looking at her expressionlessly. Tang Bao's heart tightened. She quickly smiled and said, Are you done with your phone call? What did you do? Where can I go? I just walked around the castle. No matter what she wanted to do, she couldn't fly out of the castle. She couldn't fly out of Di Haotian's palm. Tang Bao thought of something and went to Di Haotian's side. She looked up and said, Thank you. What are you thanking me for? You helped Zhang Li so much. Of course I have to thank you. Tang Bao seemed to be flattering him. Do you really want to thank me? Di Haotian looked at her wickedly, emitting an evil luster. Tang Bao immediately crossed her arms in front of her chest and jumped away. What are you doing? Let me tell you, my chest still hurts. Don't do it anymore. Di Haotian's eyes were evil. He approached Tang Bao step by step. What are you doing? If you continue to be like this, I won't sleep in the same bed as you. I'd rather sleep in the corridor outside. As Tang Bao spoke, Her slender waist was suddenly hugged and pressed tightly against Di Haotian's abdomen. Tang Bao gasped in shock. Her face was red and her voice trembled. Di Haotian, your hand is too strong. My waist is being strangled. She couldn't even twist her body. Di Haotian's low and hoarse voice pressed down on her face. Since you won't let me eat it, give me some sweetness first. What? What sweetness? Before she could say anything, Tang Bao's face was already red and her breath was unsteady. She was still an inexperienced girl. Even the slightest sign of affection between a man and a woman was enough to make her unable to bear it. Di Haotian's thin lips moved to Tang Bao's red ear and whispered in a hoarse voice. Tang Bao's face suddenly turned red and her neck turned red. That kind of change made Di Haotian's eyes glow green and his body tense up. Chapter 163. He was very close to her. His eyes were full of affection as if he wanted to suck her into his eyes. I didn't agree, Tang Bao said shyly. She felt that she could not even lift her head. She was still a young girl who had just come of age less than a year ago, and she was loved so intensely. It was really embarrassing, and she was also afraid of love. Di Haotian clicked his tongue in annoyance and said, "Do you not want to be so close to me? Why are you blushing?" Tang Bao's face and ears were red. "How can I not be shy?" Di Haotian said domineeringly. "Besides, it's just a kiss. Don't be so shy. When you like someone, you will always unconsciously get close to them. This is common sense." Tang Bao thought blankly. Was he sure he was not bluffing? Di Haotian still held Tang Bao's hand and slowly pulled her out of the bathroom. At the door, Tang Bao clung to the door and refused to let go. "I don't agree. We will definitely have to separate and take our own baths. Are you still so shy?" Di Haotian's dark eyes held back his smile, but his presence was very strong. Tang Bao could not lift her head even more, and her face became even redder. "So, do you agree or not? If you don't agree, I don't want to talk to you anymore," Tang Bao insisted. Di Haotian raised his eyebrows and smiled. "Then you go take your bath first." Tang Bao quietly took her pajamas and opened the bathroom door. After going in, she stuck her little head between the door and looked out at Di Haotian, who was sitting on the bed lazily and doing nothing. Di Haotian was sitting on the bed. "You won't come in while I'm taking my bath, right?" Tang Bao asked worriedly. "I won't. If you come in, I will be angry." Tang Bao threatened the king of Di City. Di Haotian narrowed his eyes dangerously at the closed door. He suddenly realized that even such a threat made his heart skip a beat. What a shy girl. Tang Bao kept an eye on the door while he was washing. Di Haotian shouldn't be someone who doesn't keep his promises, right? Could she go back on her word? Was there a medicine for regret in this world? Or could they turn back time? Tang Bao sighed as if he was about to drive him out of the door. However, she could only think about it. She could only accept her fate and take a shower first. She just couldn't understand why Di Haotian was so obsessed with her. Tang Bao looked at herself. She was clearly still a young girl. The Tang Bao looked like a lotus flower that had just emerged from the water. She was still very beautiful. Her face was bright red, perhaps because of the hot water or because she was still shy. Di Haotian stared at Tang Bao with gloomy eyes and said, "You're quite clean?" "Of course not. Isn't this how you bathe?" Tang Bao thought to herself. "Did I just wash my hands?" She pursed her red lips and walked to the other side of the bed. "I'm going to take a shower." Di Haotian didn't look at her anymore. He stood up and went to the bathroom. If he continued to look at her, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to resist the urge to pull her into his arms. Tang Bao muttered softly, "Just take a shower. Why do you have to tell me?" It made her heart beat even faster for no reason. Tang Bao got on the bed and realized that the bathroom door was open. She could clearly hear the sound of water. She could almost imagine the scene of water washing over her body from the sound of the water. Tang Bao covered her hot face with both hands. She was going to become strange like this. Seriously, Why didn't Di Haotian close the door when he was taking a shower? Di Haotian must have done it on purpose. Tang Bao lay on the bed obediently. She didn't put her hands and feet everywhere like before. Now, she was neatly laid out. When Di Haotian came out, he saw her cute little face and his sexy thin lips were slightly raised. Tang Bao looked in Di Haotian's direction and was so scared that she covered her head with the blanket. Why aren't you wearing a jacket? I still have to take it off anyway. It's troublesome. After saying that, Tang Bao felt the bed sink. She felt as if she couldn't bear the burden. Then, the blanket was pulled down from her face. She met Di Haotian's dark and vast eyes. Tang Bao was stunned. Her mind was filled with Di Haotian's appearance. She even forgot to speak. Di Haotian's deep black eyes were filled with Tang Bao's nervous little face. The blush on her face hadn't faded. The back of his hand brushed Tang Bao's face. The tender feeling seeped into the back of his hand, making him greedy for this touch. Tang Bao felt that her whole body was exposed under Di Haotian's gaze. She was shy and nervous as if she had nowhere to hide. She grabbed Di Haotian's hand and hoped that he would stop touching her. She begged, "Can you turn off the lights?" "Why?" Di Haotian only realized how hoarse his voice was when he spoke. This sound also shocked Tang Bao. Her breathing became even more unstable. "It's too bright. Can you turn it off? I want to see the expression on your face." Di Haotian's eyes were burning. Tang Bao didn't want to see it even more. She didn't want Di Haotian to see her. That was why she asked to turn it off. Didn't Di Haotian feel embarrassed? "Don't be shy. Bao Bao has always been the most beautiful." Di Haotian lifted Tang Bao's chin and lifted her shy little face. Tang Bao found that her face was hidden in Di Haotian's shadow. This was considered not bad, right? "Di Haotian, don't get so close." Tang Bao's eyelashes fluttered violently. Then, she closed her eyes tightly. She felt that she couldn't open her eyes. She was too shy. Wait a minute." Tang Bao stopped him halfway. Di Haotian looked up. Why did Tang Bao stutter when he just wanted to kiss her? She felt that she was touched by Di Haotian's joy. "I think. I'm still too young to kiss. Be good, it's just a kiss." Tang Bao thought about it. She looked at Di Haotian's gentle expression as if he wanted to move her. How could she not panic? Tang Bao woke up in the morning and put on her clothes in the cloakroom. Then, she buttoned her bra for a long time. When she used force, her hands were trembling. Tang Bao was so shy that she put down her hands and was stunned. Di Haotian, that guy who didn't care about anything. He still insisted on kissing her even after she rejected him repeatedly. Tang Bao was shocked to find that Di Haotian seemed to like staying by her side. He was really clingy. It was too scary. It was even scarier than a person bleeding. "Come here and wipe it for me." Di Haotian looked straight at Tang Bao. "Me? Why do you want me to wipe it? Don't you have Lien to wipe it for you?" Tang Bao didn't want to go over. She was afraid that once she went over, there would be nothing left of her. "Where did the courage to splash milk on me just now go?" Di Haotian asked coldly. "I swallowed it back into my stomach. Don't make me say it a second time." Tang Bao bit her upper lip, feeling very wronged and pitiful. However, she still couldn't resist Di Haotian's gaze and moved towards Di Haotian. Lien handed her the snow-white towel. Tang Bao glared at Lien before taking it. Lien said that he didn't do anything and listened to the young master. Tang Bao carefully wiped the milk stains on Di Haotian's body. Her eyes were very focused and she didn't look at Di Haotian's face. Even if she didn't look, she could feel Di Haotian's gaze on her face. Because it was too intense, it hurt. As Tang Bao wiped, she thought that Di Haotian's anger would definitely not dissipate so easily. What should she do? She might have to suffer again. What should she do if Di Haotian is angry? Answer: kiss him until he's not angry anymore. Tang Bao was a little regretful now. How good would it be if she had endured it? This wouldn't have happened, right? She was the dignified Tang Bao. What was she afraid of? Why didn't she dare to do anything in front of Di Haotian? Was this the legendary saying of bullying the weak and fearing the strong? Tang Bao didn't think so. She just thought that when a person encountered danger, they should be afraid. Otherwise, they would lose their lives. Di Haotian pinched her chin and said coldly, "How dare you be distracted?" Tang Bao immediately looked at him with extreme grievance. Her watery eyes were full of pity. "Di Haotian, can I stop wiping? My hand hurts. Why didn't you feel pain when you splashed milk on me?" Although Di Haotian asked angrily, he still changed his hand from pinching his chin to pinching Tang Bao's wrist. "Here? It's sour here." Di Haotian turned over Tang Bao's palm again and found that it was red and swollen. Di Haotian's dark eyebrows furrowed. Did he play too much last night? Why was it all swollen? It was even more tender than he thought. After seeing the red and swollen hand, Di Haotian was not angry at all. His heart ached. He ordered the butler, "Go and get the ointment to reduce swelling." Li En immediately went to get it. Di Haotian looked at Tang Bao's pitiful face and asked, "Why didn't you say you were uncomfortable?" "You didn't ask me." Tang Bao continued to pretend to be pitiful. Di Haotian knew that Tang Bingqian had a high proportion of Tang Bingqian's costume, but he still pressed her down on his lap to prevent her hands from moving. When the ointment was brought, Zhang Li was about to apply it on Tang Bao, but Di Haotian took it away. Hand. Tang Bao stretched out her red palm and Di Haotian applied the ointment. As he applied, he looked at Tang Bao's face and asked, "Does it hurt?" "It doesn't hurt. It's cold. Apply it with this next time." She looked at the ointment on Tang Bao's palm and was stunned. What did he mean? Next time? There will be a next time? Are you kidding me? Didn't you say you would give me some benefits? Is there no end to the benefits? Don't tell me there's a sweet middle and a sweet tail? Di Haotian acted as if he didn't know that Tang Bao was frightened. After applying the ointment, he took the disinfectant towel from Li En and wiped his hand. After wiping the ointment, Di Haotian began to feed Tang Bao breakfast. "I can eat by myself." Tang Bao was very awkward. "Can your hands eat by themselves?" Tang Bao didn't say anything. Because both of her hands were red and swollen with ointment. She definitely couldn't. She could only open her mouth when Di Haotian fed her food. Chapter 165. Di Haotian was speechless. Zhang Li and Li En walked out of the restaurant. Zhang Li couldn't help but sigh. "Why are you sighing?" Li En asked, puzzled. "Can't you tell? As long as young madam acts coquettishly, the young master seems to have changed into a different person. Sigh, if the outside world were to see this scene, would they think that the young emperor is a fake?" Zhang Li said. Li En looked at the scene in the restaurant. His eyes were slightly restrained, and he was calm as a butler. Young madam can almost climb over the young master's head. Why does the young master seem to be in a better mood? Li En glanced at Zhang Li and said, "Maybe this is something we can't understand. Indeed, maybe this is how couples are." Today in the office, Wan Milei felt that something was wrong with Tang Bao. In the past, when he came to the company, he would either stroll around or sit at his desk and play games. Now, he did nothing and sat in his chair in a daze. Is the computer broken? Wan Milei paid attention to what Tang Bao was doing other than work. Is it broken? Tang Bao was stunned by the question. If it's not broken, why aren't you playing games? My hand hurts a little. Tang Bao pouted, as if he had been forced to swallow a bitter pill in silence. What's wrong? Wan Milei grabbed her hand and looked at it. It was a little red, but it was still swollen. It doesn't look serious. How did it happen? It's nothing. I fell and fell. You're so promising. Tang Bao couldn't say that she did something that made her hands swollen and weak, right? Sigh. Tang Bao sighed bitterly in her heart. Then, she stood up and said, "I'm going to the toilet." Tang Bao went into the toilet and sat on the toilet bowl. She squatted and played with her phone. She could still touch her phone, but playing games would affect her. She just sat there and watched TV. She had only watched half an episode when the caller ID popped up. It was Di Haotian. Tang Bao answered, "Hello." As soon as he said, "Hey," Di Haotian's voice came in. "You fell into the toilet? How did you know I was in the toilet? Where are you now?" Tang Bao was stunned and asked, "Your office. Why are you in my office? Are you done? Do you want me to fish you out now?" "No need." Tang Bao's body tensed up. He immediately hung up the phone and wiped his butt. She believed that Di Haotian would definitely do it. He was capable of anything. Moreover, it was not like Di Haotian had not barged into the ladies' room before. The Tang Bao's memory was still fresh in his mind. She pushed open the office door and saw Di Haotian sitting in her seat. With Di Haotian sitting in that seat, she did not know if it was because of Di Haotian's aura, but her entire office became high-end. "Why are you looking for me?" Why did Tang Bao feel that the head of tea was so leisurely? "Your hand can't eat. I want to feed you." Tang Bao was stunned. He could not believe it. "My hand is fine. The swelling has gone down. Can I eat a meal now?" Tang Bao wondered if he had a physiological problem that made him unable to take care of himself. Di Haotian came all the way here just for this? "Come here." Di Haotian sat on the chair and looked at her lazily. Tang Bao did not know what he wanted to do. She walked over. As soon as she got close, she was pulled over by Di Haotian before she could even stop. He made her fall into Di Haotian's safe chest. Tang Bao's face was red as he touched his poor nose. "What are you doing? Serve me well so that you can continue to play with me in the future." Di Haotian raised his eyebrows and looked very evil. Tang Bao's brain was slow for a few seconds before she understood what Di Haotian said. She immediately struggled with agitation. "I don't want you to serve me." However, people who fell into Di Haotian's hands could not escape. Tang Bao could not struggle no matter how hard she struggled. Di Haotian looked at her flushed face and panting. His dark eyes were full of love as he lifted her to sit on his lap. Tang Bao wondered whether he was as light as a feather or Di Haotian was extremely strong. He lifted her onto his lap so easily. Tang Bao stared at Di Haotian. How could this person be so domineering and not give her a chance to retreat? "You make it sound nice. If you don't serve me, you won't force me to do that kind of thing next time?" "I will." "Then don't serve me anymore. You should say that since the result will be the same anyway, why don't you let me serve you?" Tang Bao was so angry that he couldn't bear it anymore. He bared his teeth and bit Di Haotian's protruding Adam's apple. Di Haotian raised his chin slightly and groaned. He held the back of Tang Bao's head and said in a rough voice, "You're really my little wolf dog. If it were a wild animal, it would not be bitten in the throat. That would be fatal." However, he was bitten by the little wolf dog. Yu Songhuan had been very irritated recently. Especially after she had a nightmare last night. She dreamed that Di Haotian was injured because of Tang Bao and was covered in blood. That image could not be erased. She had already lost her husband. How could she lose her son? Just as Yu Songhuan was at a loss, the servant came in. Yu Songhuan could not help but feel irritated. "What's the matter?" "Old madam, Miss Xiao Rui is here." Yu Songhuan became even more irritated. "I don't want to see her." But when the servant turned around and left, Yu Songhuan changed her mind. She suppressed the irritation in her heart and said, "Let her in." After a while, Xiao Rui came in with a polite and happy smile on her face. "Auntie, you haven't been here for a few days. I missed you so much. If only Haotian had your heart." "He's busy all day long," Yu Songhuan complained. "Then I came to see you on behalf of Haotian. I hope you don't dislike me." Xiao Rui thought to herself that Di Haotian was not that busy. He was busy with Tang Bao. How could that be? "I'm more than happy to see you." Yu Songhuan was once the daughter-in-law of a wealthy family. Naturally, she would say what was on the surface. After saying that, she could not help but sigh. She seemed to be very worried. Auntie, what's wrong? Is there something bothering you? Although I can't solve it for you, I'm willing to share your burden. Xiao Rui had always been sensible in front of Yu Songhuan. Sigh, it's because of Haotian. What's wrong with Haotian? I know you've always liked Haotian. Haotian is more compatible with you. Xiao Rui liked hearing this sentence. She could not hide the smile on her face. But she said, of course not. Besides, Haotian is already married. I shouldn't have such thoughts. It's precisely because he's married that I'm worried. Haotian had no choice but to get married. What do you mean? Xiao Rui perked up. Chapter 166. What? It's her? Xiao Rui even took the blame for this to humiliate Tang Bao. So, Tang Bao was the smartest person. Not only did he not expose her, but he even laughed at her? Xiao Rui's expression was very ugly. She wanted to strangle Tang Bao. If it weren't for the fact that Haotian wanted to repay her, he wouldn't have married her. Xiao Rui had never understood why Haotian wanted to marry Tang Bao. Now, she finally understood. She was mocked by Tang Bao back then. Could she use the same words to mock her? But Xiao Rui didn't understand. Why did Tang Bao look like she didn't know anything? He must be pretending to be a fool in order not to let others know. Xiao Rui really wanted to see how Tang Bao would justify herself. She watched Xiao Rui leave happily as if she had won a gold ingot. Yu Songhuan also felt that he had gone overboard. But when she thought about Haotian's safety, she felt that all this was necessary. She couldn't let anything happen to Haotian. Tang Bao and Wan Milei were walking out of the company when they heard a burst of laughter in the distance. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Tang Bao and Wan Milei looked at Xiao Rui, who was laughing so hard that she was convulsing with laughter, as if they were looking at an idiot. Tang Bao nudged Wan Milei with his elbow and said, "Did I provoke her like this last time? I feel a little guilty. She is Haotian's mother's savior. Do you think Haotian will have any thoughts? It's not your fault. Some people are born to go crazy." Wan Milei comforted her. "Although I feel guilty, I'm really happy." Tang Bao's expression changed. Wan Milei was speechless. Xiao Rui walked forward proudly and said, "I know you two are talking bad about me. But I don't mind." "Looks like you're seriously ill," Tang Bao said. "Why don't I take you to the hospital to have your brain checked? I'll pay." "You're the one who's crazy. Tang Bao, let me tell you, your arrogance has reached its end." "Am I proud?" Tang Bao asked Wan Milei. "Am I?" "No." Wan Milei shook his head. "See? No." Xiao Rui was infuriated by Tang Bao's dismissive attitude. However, if she hadn't come prepared, she would have definitely gone mad with anger. "Do you remember the last time I told you that I was the savior of Haotian's mother?" Xiao Rui asked. He thought to himself, "Let's see how long you can pretend." "I already know. You don't have to tell me anymore. Don't use the excuse of being my savior to hang around in front of me. Be careful or I'll beat you up." Tang Bao said bluntly, "I made a mistake last time." "Actually, I said it on purpose," Xiao Rui said. "What did you say wrong?" "Actually, I'm not the savior of Haotian's mother." "If you're not, then who are you? A ghost?" Tang Bao wouldn't be led by the nose by her. Last time, he asked Haotian, and Haotian admitted it himself. What was the point of Xiao Rui lying to him again? Tang Bao turned around and walked away. However, Xiao Rui immediately blocked his way. "Go away. Be careful or I'll really beat you up." Tang Bao's expression changed. "Aren't you curious why Haotian married you? Aren't you curious why Haotian wanted to find a woman who looks like us?" "I'm not curious." Tang Bao felt that this woman was extraordinarily annoying. If it weren't for Haotian's mother, she would have already hit him. "Don't be in a hurry to leave. I'll leave after I'm done talking. I promise I won't bother you again." "You really won't bother me anymore?" Tang Bao didn't believe her. Haotian was looking for the little girl who saved his mother a long time ago. Then, he found me, but he found the wrong girl. It's not his fault. It's already good enough that he could find a girl who looked good after he only met her once. But later, he realized that I wasn't the one he was looking for, so he continued to look and found you. Do you mean that Di Haotian found the wrong person again and is looking for a third person who looks like you? Tang Bao said speechlessly. She knew what Xiao Rui's purpose was. No. Tang Bao looked at her. Why not? Because you're the real girl who saved Di Haotian's mother. Tang Bao was stunned for a moment, then laughed. If you want to lie, why don't you find someone you can trust? Wouldn't I know if she saved him or not? Tang Bao, I've already said so much. What's the point of continuing to act? But you're quite good at acting. Who's acting? If you're not, then you're not. Tang Bao was really angry. If it's not you, why would Di Haotian marry you? Do you really think you're both talented and beautiful? Xiao Rui mocked. These words made Tang Bao speechless for a moment. How would she know why Di Haotian wanted to marry her? Love at first sight. What other reason could there be? But every time she said this, Tang Bao felt a little unconfident. Because Di Haotian really wants to repay his kindness to you, so he married you and not me. Tang Bao, you don't have to pretend anymore. I'll tell you what you said to me before. You're only good to Di Haotian because of your kindness. What do you have to be proud of? You're the one who's really pitted. Tang Bao stood there, very disgusted by Xiao Rui's words. Didn't she know whether she saved Di Haotian's mother or not? Did she need Xiao Rui to say it? What a joke. But Xiao Rui's mocking and pitiful expression was very eye-catching, and it made Tang Bao feel very uncomfortable. Until Xiao Rui left with a victorious smile, Tang Bao's mind was still not completely clear. Wan Milei saw that Tang Bao's expression was not good, so she immediately comforted him. Don't listen to her nonsense here. She can lie to others, but how can she lie to herself? No means no. Xiao Rui just wants to see you admit defeat. Don't fall into her trap. I know. Tang Bao said this, but he did not know how to calm down in his heart. Tang Bao had this feeling from the beginning. Let's not talk about why Di Haotian married her. Just the fact that she did not have any clear memory of when she was 10 years old was very strange. Lan Wanru was the first to come to her and ask, but Tang Bao did not take it seriously. It was just that it was difficult for her to remember. When Xiao Rui said that she was the savior of Di Haotian's mother, she believed it, because Tang Bao did not have any impression of saving anyone. But now Xiao Rui said something like this. Tang Bao could not be trusted. But why did she keep thinking about the terrorist attack 10 years ago? Wan Milei said that she remembered it clearly. Why couldn't she remember? Was it really because her mother was sick and passed away? A car drove over. Wan Milei grabbed Tang Bao, who was walking forward without looking at the car, and said, "What are you doing? You were almost hit by a car." Milei, do you think a person who can't remember the past will lose their memory? Chapter 167. I don't know why, but I always feel like something happened to me when I was 10 years old, but I can't remember anything, Tang Bao said. Didn't I say that it's normal for you not to know when your mother passed away? Even if my mother passed away, no matter how sad I was, the world I lived in wasn't closed off. How could I not know? I felt as if I had never experienced that incident in my life. It's like there's a blank memory. So I'm thinking, did I lose my memory? This can't be. Wan Milei didn't think that amnesia was that simple. Should I go see a doctor? Isn't there a psychiatrist who can restore memories? What if there isn't? I don't know. Let's go see him first. Then, the two of them found a psychiatrist in the afternoon and went. Before Tang Bao entered the door, she became nervous. Don't be nervous. Maybe you're just scaring yourself. Tang Bao nodded and entered the door. The psychiatrist asked Tang Bao to lie down on a comfortable chair. There was a small round light bulb on the right side of Tang Bao. She didn't know what it was for. Doctor, can you turn this off? This is the key to recovering your memory. It can illuminate your memory more clearly, and you can see it more clearly. Tang Bao and Wan Malay looked at each other. Why was it so mysterious? Whatever. Lying on the hospital bed, wasn't she still at the mercy of the doctor? Don't be nervous. Relax your body and take deep breaths. Tang Bao followed the doctor's instructions and exhaled deeply. You don't have to vomit so hard. Be natural. Wan Malay laughed out loud. Go out, the doctor said. You'll disturb the patient. Wan Malay glanced at Tang Bao. She was a little worried about leaving her in this unfamiliar place. If she fell asleep, wouldn't she be defenseless? How dangerous would that be? It's okay. Go out and wait for me, Tang Bao said when she saw Wan Malay's worry. After Wan Malay went out, Tang Bao slowly closed her eyes under the doctor's instructions. She had long wanted to close her eyes, but the light was too glaring. Imagine that your body is very light, as if you are floating in outer space without any resistance. Then shut out all the thoughts in your mind. Tang Bao closed his eyes, and his body slowly relaxed. He did not move at all, as if he was following the doctor's thoughts. When all your thoughts are shut out, your mind begins to relax, and relax again. Then what do you see? Did something unimaginable happen to you? The doctor stopped talking after he finished his sentence. Tang Bao, who was lying on the chair in a relaxed manner, tilted his head, closed his eyes, and breathed evenly. He was quiet and defenseless. She fell asleep. The doctor's face twisted. Hey, get up! The doctor slammed his palm on the armrest. Tang Bao was so frightened that he sat up straight. Wan Malay, who was outside, also heard the doctor's roar and rushed in. What's wrong? What happened? Tang Bao looked at the doctor in confusion. He did not know why the doctor suddenly went crazy. Doctor, you haven't called out my deepest memories yet. Why did you scare me awake? Tang Bao asked curiously. The doctor pointed at the door. Go, I'm not taking you in anymore. Why? I specially came here to ask you to restore my memories. Why are you chasing me away? Tang Bao did not understand. I hypnotized you, and you slept. If you didn't mean it, don't come here. The doctor was furious. I've taken in so many patients, and I've never seen anyone fall asleep under my hypnosis. Get out. Get out of here. Immediately. Immediately. Damn it. Tang Bao and Wan Malay were kicked out just like that. What's with your attitude? Do you think I won't tear down your signboard? Tang Bao roared at the door angrily. Wan Malay asked in confusion, You fell asleep? Why did you fall asleep? Isn't it possible to get my memories back when I fall asleep? I think this psychiatrist is a scammer. It's his own fault for making me fall asleep, and he's blaming everyone. What a joke. Tang Bao was furious. She should be the one who's angry. She really came here to look for her memories. How did it become like this? Liar. Wan Malay. Why are you staring at me? Is there something on my face? Tang Bao was unhappy. I'm just thinking, is it the psychiatrist who's incapable or you who's more capable? What do you mean? You came here to look for your memories and you fell asleep? If that's not more capable, then what is? I feel a little sorry for that psychiatrist. His self-confidence was destroyed in your hands. How traumatized will it be for him? In the future, when he faces patients, will he think of you and not be able to help them? I pity him. Wan Malay shook his head. Blame me? He kept telling me to relax my body, relax my mind, relax my body, relax my mind. He kept telling me to relax. How can I not feel sleepy? Tang Bao thought that this was some kind of hypnotism. Why isn't he sleeping? How do you know he's not sleeping? The psychiatrist said that you're the first one. Looking at his qualifications, he's not young. Tell me, how lucky must he be to meet you? Wan Malay said. Tang Bao stared at Wan Malay. Just because he said he's the first one, does that mean he's the first one? Can he tell the truth? Besides, you're the one who found him. Is there a problem with him? Why would there be a problem with me finding him? We only went because you said there was no problem. Juan Millet had never seen someone kick someone to the curb after they'd outlived their usefulness. Then what do you think we should do? Find a new one? Tang Bao was nervous and came to find a psychiatrist. What happened? Do we need to find one? If we want to find one, we have to find one who's famous, Juan Millet said. That's right. This one is obviously not famous. No wonder he could make me fall asleep. Big liar. Tang Bao looked into the distance blankly and said to Juan Millet, "No matter who asks you about me, don't tell them, understand? You won't tell them even if the young emperor asks? The one I can't tell them the most is him. Why? If there's really a problem, he definitely doesn't want me to know." Tang Bao was still thinking about the day she asked Di Haotian if Xiao Rui was the girl who saved his mother. Di Haotian said yes, and she should have continued to ask, "Why did you marry me?" She didn't ask. Why didn't she ask? Was it because she didn't dare to ask in her heart? The cold wind suddenly blew, lifting Tang Bao's skirt and ruffling her black hair. The wind was a little cold on her body. Millet, is winter coming? Chapter 168. Tang Bao didn't want to argue with Di Haotian anymore. She couldn't deal with Di Haotian. This was the only way she could hide her inferiority. I've said it many times, you can't get a divorce here. Di Haotian's voice was low and cold. To repay a debt of gratitude? How about this, if you really want to repay a debt of gratitude, you can give me money. I can also accept money. Tang Bao looked away. Is there anything else besides money? Di Haotian asked, his eyes locked on Tang Bao's face. Tang Bao thought she wanted something else, but would it belong to her? Her motive from the beginning was so obvious. He married you to repay a debt of gratitude, and you really took it so seriously that you were prepared to rely on him for the rest of your life. People should know how to be humble, this was traditional morality. After a long silence, she said, "No." Di Haotian's face immediately darkened, and his whole body exuded a cold aura. It was as if her feet, which had been warmed up, had turned cold again, and the cold air drilled into her back. It was a bone-chilling cold. Tang Bao couldn't stand Di Haotian's cold aura, and she lost some confidence. What are you doing? I'm doing this for your sake. Don't you think you're losing out by marrying me for such a reason? Why gamble on your lifetime's happiness? It's just right now we don't have a child yet, so everything can be discussed. Otherwise, after we have a child, we'll have to ask the child who he's willing to marry, and that'll be cruel. Before Tang Bao could finish, she saw Di Haotian walking towards her with a dark face. She was so scared that she turned around and ran. However, she hadn't even taken 3 steps when she was caught by Di Haotian's long arm. "Let go of me, what do you want to do?" Tang Bao panicked. Di Haotian lifted Tang Bao onto his broad shoulders and walked into the house. "What are you doing? Let go of me!" Tang Bao's stomach was uncomfortable with the hard shoulders. She struggled to get down, but Di Haotian was so strong that she couldn't resist at all. Tang Bao was quite flustered. She didn't know what she said wrong. Was this person crazy? Di Haotian, I'm telling you, let go of me. Otherwise, I won't take your money. But if I don't take it, you'll definitely feel guilty. So, it's better for you to give me some money. Isn't that what it means? Tang Bao was directly thrown onto the bed. She was so scared that her whole body was on guard against Di Haotian, who had a very strong Yin aura. What do you want? Tang Bao didn't understand. You won't mention divorce after you give birth to the child, right? This was not a question, nor was it a request. Tang Bao felt that he was scaring her. Because if she wanted to give birth, she had to do that kind of thing. Di Haotian, you said you'd give me 3 months. This was the only guarantee Tang Bao had now. At this moment, Di Haotian was exuding a vicious aura, as if he wanted to tear her apart. There's no difference between 3 months and now. Di Haotian looked down from above, as dangerous as a god. He pressed down on Tang Bao. Tang Bao opened her small mouth and stared blankly at the thick shadow that was shrouding over her. She was pressed down on the bed by Di Haotian. Ugh! Her 2 wrists were clamped by the hands that were like iron chains, and it was painful. Di Haotian, can you not be so moody? I'm moody? Do you care? Is it because I'm too good to you that you challenge my patience over and over again? Di Haotian's face was twisted with anger. How are you good to me? You're so overbearing, always bullying me. Tang Bao's chest tightened, and her face turned red. Since it's not good, then I'll be bad to you all the way. Di Haotian pinched Tang Bao's chin, and his thin lips invaded. Ugh! Tang Bao's small mouth couldn't bear the wanton action, and her expression was uncomfortable. She wanted to struggle, but Di Haotian's body was as heavy as Mount Tai. Coupled with his strength, she didn't have the slightest chance to escape. Ugh! Ugh! Tang Bao was like a meat on the chopping block, and Di Haotian could do whatever he wanted. Di Haotian's black eyes were dyed with anger, and it made people feel that he was unusually dangerous. When Tang Bao's whole body was released, the suffocation of death made her greedily suck in the fresh oxygen in the air. She felt that her whole body was swollen, trembling, and numb. Tang Bao hadn't woken up from her thoughts, and the tip of Di Haotian's tongue pressed against her again, and he even revealed his sharp silver teeth. Ugh! No, don't what? Di Haotian asked, still panting with anger. You said that you'd give me 3 months, why? Do you think that I'm not good enough? Are you satisfied now? Di Haotian kissed her fiercely. Ugh! It hurts. Tell me, why must you wait for 3 months? What are you scheming in your heart? Do you want to wait for 3 months to run away? If you don't give yourself to me, who do you want to give yourself to? Di Haotian's pair of black eyes were dyed red with anger. Especially when he thought of Tang Bao's indifferent attitude just now, he was completely enraged. Wild beasts were scary, but an enraged wild beast was even scarier. I didn't. In Tang Bao's eyes, there was a slight tremble of tears, and she was resisting. You were the one who promised. The fear and grievance in her heart made her cry. Di Haotian, sob, sob, sob. Di Haotian's unbridled hand stopped, and he froze in place. The red in his black eyes gradually faded. Looking up, Tang Bao was biting her lip. Tears slid down the corners of her eyes, flowed into the roots of her hair, and disappeared. Di Haotian's heart ached. Every beat of his heart felt like it was knocking on his chest, and it was numb. The only way not to hurt her was to turn around and leave. But how could he bear to do that? The blue veins on the back of Di Haotian's hand twitched. He straightened his body and left. The heavy feeling on his body left. The door closed, indicating that Di Haotian had left. Tang Bao's body was loose on the bed, as if she had been dismembered. She cried when she was not let go, but when she was let go, her tears flowed even harder. Tang Bao curled up on the bed, hugging herself. She could hear the silence of the room. His mind was a complete mess. Only the impact of the truth made her unable to accept it. Why was she the girl who stole Di Haotian's mother's wallet? Why wasn't it Xiao Rui? She didn't want to be that girl. It didn't matter whether she wanted to or not now. Even Di Haotian had admitted that he married her. He had really wronged himself. He had sacrificed his life's happiness for such a reason. Was kindness greater than the heavens? He didn't even allow her to ask for a divorce. Tang Bao closed her eyes. Her heart was full of pain when Tang Bao woke up early in the morning. He was in a hazy state. Why were the windows in the room so small? Why was the bed so small? It took her a few seconds to remember that this was her room. Why was she here? She had quarreled with Di Haotian. Chapter 169. That was also the reason why Di Haotian married her. It was to repay her kindness. Love at first sight? Now that she thought about it, it was really wishful thinking. Tang Bao did not go back to the castle to ask Di Haotian, nor did she go to the company. She went back to the Tang family. She sat quietly at the door, as if waiting for the slender and pitiful figure of her family member who came home late. Before she came, she called Di Haotian and told him that she was going back to the Tang family. She had not been back for a long time. So many justifiable reasons. Tang Bao walked around after eating. She walked to the river not far from the back of the villa and sat down. The water was very clear, and the sky was dark early now. Her figure reflected in the water was black, and only a little outline could be seen. Tang Bao took off her shoes. Her bare feet touched the water, and the figure in the water was immediately blurred by the ripples. The sudden coolness of the water made Tang Bao a little uncomfortable, but she still put both her feet in. Because some people said that when the feet were stimulated by the cold, the mind would be clear and think of many things. This was much more useful than hypnosis. Tang Bao did not know how she lost her memory, but she remembered that Tang Qishan had told her before that she fell from the house in the past. She hurt her head. It must have been that time that she lost her memory? Tang Bao felt that she was really like an ignorant child now. She still had to wait for someone to tell her. All that was left was a helpless sigh. What else could she do? Her feet in the water were suddenly fished out of the water. Tang Bao was shocked. Then she saw Di Haotian suddenly appear, hold her feet in his palm, and then stuff them into his suit jacket and wrap them. The soles of her feet were instantly wrapped in warmth. She was very greedy. When Tang Bao realized what she was doing, she wanted to pull her feet back. But Di Haotian did not let her. Don't be like this. If I didn't come, how long were you going to put your feet in the water? Di Haotian's face was deep and cold. Their gazes were full of oppression. Tang Bao pursed his lips and said, because the book says that there are reflection areas, acupoints, and meridians of the human body on the feet. If you stimulate them, you will become clear-headed. The book said to stimulate you in cold water? Cold water can also stimulate the brain, Tang Bao said as he lowered his gaze. Di Haotian's dark eyes stared at her sharply. You went to the bungalow and climbed over the wall? Tang Bao was stunned. He looked up at Di Haotian and grinned. You're quite well informed, aren't you? Di Haotian's face was as cold as ice. He raised his voice and said, Do you know how dangerous it is? Aren't I fine now? Di Haotian's face was cold and stiff. The lines of his face tightened as he suppressed his anger and asked, Why do you want to go to the bungalow? You know that I climbed over the wall, but you don't know why I went there? Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian's face and nodded. Then I won't tell you. Tang Bao, he said in a low voice with a threatening tone. Okay, I'll tell you. I didn't want you and your son to have a bad relationship because of me. I did it out of kindness. It's easy to guess, Tang Bao said. Di Haotian didn't know, which meant that Yu Songhuan didn't say anything. He only said that she climbed over the wall. Presumably, Yu Songhuan didn't dare to tell Di Haotian the truth. Tang Bao could guess what he was thinking. I've said it before. With me around, everything will be solved. You still climbed over the wall. I think you want to be punished again. When Di Haotian heard that Tang Bao went to climb over the wall of the bungalow, his face was scary and unapproachable. The wall was covered with glass shards that were extremely sharp. Even the iron gate was covered with sharp iron spikes. He couldn't imagine the danger of her falling down. How did she dare to be so bold when he was suppressing her? Di Haotian, can I ask you a question? Tang Bao looked up. Why did you marry me? Actually, this question should have been asked last time. It was asked at the same time as is Xiao Rui your mother's savior? If I ask you now, can you answer me? Tang Bao stared at Di Haotian expectantly, but also a little unsure about the question he had just asked. This was probably because Di Haotian was too unpredictable. This wasn't a good thing. But she still asked, and asked so bluntly. Di Haotian was silent. His dark eyes were not trying to hide anything, but it was as if he wanted to see through Tang Bao. Is it hard to answer? Tang Bao asked. What did you do in the bungalow? Di Haotian asked. Climb over the wall. Except for this. Tang Bao lowered her gaze slightly, and it happened to fall on the black buttons of Di Haotian's shirt. It was as if every button had its aristocratic pride. She thought Di Haotian still noticed something. But why did he ask instead of directly telling the truth? Was it hard to say? Di Haotian reached out and lifted Tang Bao's chin, forcing her to look into his eyes. Why aren't you talking? At such a close distance, Tang Bao saw herself in Di Haotian's dark eyes. Her eyes were clear but blank, because she felt like she was in a vast universe. It also made her feel dizzy. And there was also the oppressive feeling of his sharp gaze. Di Haotian, was Xiaorui the one who stole your mother's wallet? Isn't she your mother's savior? If that's the case, why did you lie to me last time? Am I the girl who stole your mother's wallet? Tang Bao asked. Is that why you went to the bungalow? Why are you always so obsessed with my purpose of going to the bungalow? Can't you just tell me? It's like you're answering me a question. Actually, I don't think it's a big deal. Just treat it as satisfying my curiosity, okay? Di Haotian stared at her deeply with his dark eyes, and said in a moment, It's you. Although Tang Bao already knew the answer, her heart still sank after hearing it. It was as if she had sunk into sulfuric acid. It was a painful process, as if she was being corroded. Then Tang Bao asked again, When you first married me, was it to repay my kindness? Yes. Tang Bao looked away and suddenly smiled. You really sacrificed a lot. If it were me, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it. After saying that, she felt extremely sad in her heart. She actually had such a strange and profound feeling. She really had no right to laugh at Xiaorui. It seemed that the ridicule back then was really prepared for her. How ridiculous! Then, a ball of fire rose in her heart. She pulled her feet back forcefully, stood up from the ground, and pointed at Di Haotian angrily. Are you kidding me? You married me because you wanted to repay my kindness. You married me just because you said you wanted to. Did you consider my feelings? Did you ask me? Did I agree to marry you just because I agreed? Do you have to respect my human rights? Tang Bao jumped up from his seat. Di Haotian's dark eyes looked at her deeply, his ink-black eyes twisted. Chapter 170. Tang Bao did not want to argue with Di Haotian anymore. She could not deal with Di Haotian. She could only use this way to hide her inferiority. I've said many times, divorce is not possible with me. Di Haotian's voice was low and cold. To repay a debt of gratitude? How about this, if you really want to repay a debt of gratitude, you can give me money. I can accept money. Tang Bao turned her gaze away. Other than money, is there nothing else? Di Haotian asked, his eyes locked on Tang Bao's face. Tang Bao thought that she wanted something else, but would it belong to her? Her purpose was so obvious from the beginning. He married her to repay a debt of gratitude, but she really took it that seriously and was prepared to rely on him for the rest of her life. One must know how to be humble. This was traditional morality. After a long silence, she said, No. Di Haotian's face suddenly darkened, and his whole body exuded a cold aura. It was as if her warm feet had turned cold again, and the coldness drilled into her meridians and back. It was a bone-chilling cold. Tang Bao could not stand Di Haotian's cold aura and was a little unconfident. What are you doing? I'm doing this for your sake. Don't you feel that you're losing out by marrying me for such a reason? Why should you gamble your life's happiness? It's just right now. We don't have a child yet, so everything can be discussed. Otherwise, after the child is born, we'll have to ask the child who he wants to be with. It's cruel. Before Tang Bao could finish, she saw Di Haotian walking towards her with a gloomy face. She was so scared that she turned around and ran. However, before she could run 3 steps, she was caught by Di Haotian's long arm. Let go of me. What are you doing? Tang Bao was panicking. Di Haotian directly lifted Tang Bao onto his broad shoulders and walked into the house. What are you doing? Let go of me. Tang Bao's stomach was very uncomfortable with the hard shoulders pressing against it. He struggled to get down, but Di Haotian was too strong. He couldn't resist at all. Tang Bao was rather flustered. She didn't know what she had said wrong. Was this person crazy? Di Haotian, I'm telling you, let go of me. Otherwise, I won't take your money. But if you don't want it, you will definitely have a psychological burden in your heart. So, it's better for you to give me some money. Isn't that what it means to settle the transaction? Tang Bao was directly thrown onto the bed. She was so scared that her whole body was on guard against Di Haotian, who was full of energy. What are you trying to do? Tang Bao did not understand. You won't talk about divorce after you give birth to the child, right? This was not a question, nor was it a request. Tang Bao felt that she was being scared. Because if you want to have a child, you have to do that kind of thing. Di Haotian, you said that you would give me 3 months. Tang Bao only had this guarantee now. At this moment, Di Haotian was gloomy and exuding a vicious aura, as if he was going to tear her apart. 3 months is no different from now. Di Haotian looked down at her from above, like a dangerous god. He pressed down on Tang Bao. Tang Bao opened her small mouth and stared blankly at the broad shadow that shrouded over her. Di Haotian suddenly pinned her on the bed. Ouch! Her wrists were clamped together by the chain-like palms, and it was painful. Di Haotian, can you stop being so unpredictable? I'm unpredictable? Do you care? Is it because I'm too good to you that you're testing my patience over and over again? Di Haotian's face was distorted by his vicious aura. How are you good to me? You're so overbearing and you bully me all the time. Tang Bao's chest tightened and her face turned red. Since I'm not good to you, then I'll be bad to you until the end. Di Haotian pinched Tang Bao's chin and his thin lips invaded her. Ouch! Tang Bao's small mouth moved uncontrollably, and her expression was puckered up in pain. She wanted to struggle, but Di Haotian's body was as heavy as Mount Tai. Coupled with his strength, she had no chance of escaping. Ouch! Ouch! Tang Bao was like a piece of meat on the chopping block, letting Di Haotian do whatever he wanted. Di Haotian's black eyes were filled with anger, and it made people feel that he was unusually dangerous. When Tang Bao was released, she greedily sucked in the fresh oxygen in the air, as she was on the verge of death. She felt that her whole body was swollen, trembling, and numb. Before Tang Bao could wake up from her stupor, Di Haotian's tongue touched her again, and he even revealed his sharp silver teeth. Ouch! No, what? Di Haotian asked, panting with anger. You said that you'd give me 3 months, why? Do you think that I'm not good enough? Are you satisfied now? Di Haotian kissed her fiercely. Ouch! Ouch! Tell me, why do you have to wait for 3 months? What are you scheming in your heart? Do you want to wait for 3 months to escape? If you don't give yourself to me, who do you want to leave yourself to? Di Haotian's black eyes were dyed red with anger. Especially when he thought of Tang Bao's indifferent look just now, he was completely enraged. Wild beasts were scary, but an enraged wild beast was even scarier. I didn't. Tang Bao's eyes were filled with tears, and she was resisting. You promised yourself. Ouch! The fear and grievance in her heart made her cry out. Di Haotian, boo-hoo. Di Haotian's wanton hand paused and froze. The redness in his black eyes gradually faded. He looked up and saw Tang Bao biting her lip. Tears slipped from the corners of her eyes, flowed into the roots of her hair, and disappeared. Di Haotian's heart ached. Every time his heart beat, it felt like it was beating on his chest, and it was shaking until it was numb. The only way not to hurt her was to turn around and leave. But how could he bear to do that? The veins on the back of Di Haotian's hand were twisting and turning. He straightened up and walked away. The heavy feeling on her body disappeared. The door closed, and it was Di Haotian's departure. Tang Bao's body lay limply on the bed, as if she had been dismembered. When she was not let go, she cried. When she was let go, her tears flowed even harder. Tang Bao curled up on the bed and hugged herself. She heard the silence in the room. Her mind was a mess. Only the impact of the truth made her unable to accept it. Why was she the girl who stole Di Haotian's mother's wallet? Why was it not Xiao Rui? She did not want to be that girl. There was no point in thinking about it now. Even Di Haotian admitted that was the reason why he married her. He really wronged himself. He sacrificed his life's happiness for such a reason. Was kindness greater than the sky? He did not even allow her to ask for a divorce. Tang Bao closed her eyes. Her heart was filled with pain. Early in the morning, Tang Bao woke up from his bed. His whole body was in a hazy state. Why did the room and the windows become so small? Why was the bed so small? It took her a few seconds to remember that this was her room and why she was here. She had quarreled with Di Haotian. Chapter 171. In fact, Tang Bao did not know why Di Haotian was angry. What a good divorce condition. If it were anyone else, they would be secretly happy. Or was it that Tang Bao's request insulted Di Haotian's kindness in wanting to repay his kindness? Tang Bao snorted. Where did Di Haotian's kindness come from? From the moment he knew him, he was a terrible and ferocious creature. Otherwise, how could he force her to marry him? When he opened the door, the servant was outside. Miss, it's time for breakfast. I'm not eating. Aren't you hungry? You eat. Tang Bao was not interested in eating. It was as if he was muddling along. During the day in the office, Tang Bao did not have the energy to do anything. He either stared at the computer for a long time in a daze, or held his phone as if he was touching the remote control and constantly changed the channel of the TV. He turned on and turned off every software. He repeated this process. Then, he threw the phone on the table with a bang. Juan Malay, what are you doing? It was not a good thing to be called by your boss by your full name. Although Tang Bao did not do anything, he was still a boss. And his tone was so serious. It must be related to work. Juan Malay immediately jumped from the desk to Tang Bao. What can I do for you? Why don't you use the bag I bought for you? Tang Bao's beautiful eyebrows were furrowed very seriously. Juan Malay overestimated Tang Bao. It was actually because of this matter. It's in the house, but I'll use it tomorrow. That's good. Is there nothing else? Yes. Please tell me. Go to Zhou Jisen and see if there are any documents that need my approval. Juan Malay felt that today's Tang Bao was not right. Since when did she care about work? Didn't she just eat, drink, and play here? Why did he drag her into not doing her job? Tang Bao, are you okay? Juan Malay asked. Tang Bao looked at Juan Malay strangely and said, What's wrong with me? Do I not look good? Didn't you always say that I don't do my job every day? Is it wrong for me to want to change myself? Are you only satisfied if I play games, eat, and sleep every day? Mealy, you're not a spy sent by some unlucky company, are you? You can't do that. Although we are superior and subordinate on the surface, we are still very good friends in private. You. Stop. Juan Malay made a stop gesture. If he continued, even if she wasn't a heinous person who betrayed her friends, her ears wouldn't be able to take it. I'll go take a look for you now. Juan Malay turned and walked towards the door. Wait a minute. What now? I'd better go there myself, Tang Bao said as he stood up and left. Juan Malay was speechless. Since he wanted to go, why did he have to say so much nonsense? Tang Bao really went to Zhou Jisen's office. Zhou Jisen's assistant saw her and was about to say something. Tang Bao pushed the office door open without a care. The assistant's mouth was open, but no sound came out. As soon as Tang Bao entered, she saw another woman in Zhou Jisen's office. She was very beautiful and dressed fashionably. She had a pair of peach blossom eyes and was quite attractive. Zhou Jisen didn't expect Tang Bao to come and enter without knocking. Did I come at a bad time? Tang Bao asked. No one answered her. She didn't understand why Zhou Jison's expression was a little strange, so she asked the woman sitting there, "Which department are you from? I don't think I've seen you before." "You don't know who I am?" Yu Lianlian couldn't believe it. "I'm sorry, there are too many people in that company. You know that the company is relatively big and has a lot of people. I'm probably a little face-blind, so I don't really remember." Yu Lianlian felt that this girl was so young. Logically speaking, she should know who she was. Then wasn't her big shot as a popular movie star a failure? "What are you talking about? As the boss of the company, I can hear you, right?" Tang Bao said. Zhou Jisen didn't say anything, but Yu Lianlian said, "We're talking about remarriage." "So you're talking about remarriage? How do you want to talk about it? Whose idea was this?" Tang Bao stopped halfway and instantly brainstormed about remarriage. Then, she looked at Zhou Jisen and Yu Lianlian in shock. In the past, she knew that Zhou Jisen was divorced. This should be his ex-wife. Remarriage seemed to be very sensitive, didn't it? "Ahaha, then you guys take your time. I'll leave first." "President Tang." Zhou Jisen finally spoke. "What's the matter? Why did you come to look for me?" "Nothing, I just came to see you." Tang Bao really left after saying that. She walked seriously not far away, then in a flash, she hid in a corner and paid attention to Zhou Jisen's office door, spying on the movements. The employees passing by. She left without seeing anything. After waiting for about 10 minutes, the woman came out and left. Tang Bao then went to Zhou Jisen's office again. Just like before, she didn't knock and directly pushed the door open. "Zhou Jisen. Zhou Jisen, is that woman really your ex-wife?" Tang Bao didn't realize her behavior at all. "Indeed. She's so beautiful. Why did you divorce?" "Our personalities don't match. This is the worst excuse for a couple to divorce, right?" Tang Bao despised and then asked Zhou Jisen, "Are you the one who wants a divorce? You abandoned her after sleeping with her, right?" "President Tang, are you looking for me?" Zhou Jisen asked this because he didn't want to answer Tang Bao's question. It was obvious that he wanted her to leave the office if there was nothing. However, Tang Bao didn't realize it. "Zhou Jisen, how did the two of you meet? Did you force her to marry you?" Zhou Jisen thought, "Do you think I'm the same as the young master?" He didn't want to answer Tang Bao's question, but if he didn't say it, she probably wouldn't leave. "No." "Then what is it?" "University classmate." "Wow, then she's also a lawyer? But I don't think she's like you. She doesn't have the arrogant elite aura that you have." "Then what does she do?" "In the entertainment industry." "A celebrity? What's her name?" "Yu Lianlian." "Yu Lianlian? It's actually Yu Lianlian? That's Wan Malay's idol." Tang Bao had never been interested in celebrities, so naturally, she didn't care about her face. But she knew the name of Wan Malay's favorite celebrity. "Haha, I'll tell Malay now." After Tang Bao said that, she left Zhou Jisen's office. Chapter 172. Vice President Zhou? What's so interesting about him? She's his ex-wife. Tang Bao was speechless. What's so interesting about his ex-wife? Wan Malay was even more speechless. Do you know who his ex-wife is? Don't get too excited if I tell you. She's a popular celebrity, Yu Lianlian. What? Do you mean it? Van Malay sprang to his feet in surprise and joy. What do you think? Interesting, right? No, I'm going to ask her for an autograph and take a picture. Tang Bao pulled Wan Malay back. You don't have to go. Why? Don't stop me. This is my dream. Because she's gone. What? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Tang Bao stared at her. Is Yu Lianlian more important, or am I more important? You're scolding me because of her? Of course she's more important. We're done. Tang Bao turned around and left. Breaking off our friendship is worthless coming from your mouth. Who knew how many times he had heard her say this word? Wan Marai shamelessly followed her in order to chase after her idol. Don't be angry. I was just joking. It's not funny. I thought it was funny, so I wanted to make you happy. Okay, don't be angry. I'll treat you to lunch. I'll think about it. Let's have a big meal. Okay. Wanmale asked with a smile. When you saw Yulianlian, did she talk to you? She said a few words. What did she say? I asked her which department she was from. She was surprised that I didn't know her. Nothing else, Tangbao said. I don't know what to say to you. Wanmale was very melancholy. What's wrong? I feel that Yulianlian is going to be as agitated as the psychologist last time. She's such a big shot, but you asked her which department she was from. She's lucky that she didn't think you were an alien, Wanmale said bitterly. How did she have such a friend who could agitate others? It's so funny. Why should I know her? Do I have to know a celebrity? I don't even want to know her, Tangbao said disdainfully. Okay, you don't want to know her, I guess, okay? Let me ask you, why is Yu Lianlian looking for Vice President Zhou? She said to remarry. Oh my god, is this considered gossip news? You have to know that Yu Lianlian's news is very gossipy. She just didn't know why they got divorced. There were all kinds of versions of the news. They said that Yu Lianlian had a hard time marrying into a rich family and was chased out by the Zhou family. They also said that Yu Lianlian's husband was a fake rich man and that Yu Lianlian hated lying to her, but in fact, she despised the poor and loved the rich and abandoned her husband. But no matter what, I like Yu Lianlian. I think they divorced because Zhou Jisen is a jerk. Why? Because all crows are equally black. Young Master D too? Don't mention him. Wanmale thought, sure enough, it was because of the young master that he was behaving strangely. Did you offend the young master? What do you mean I provoked him? He was the one who provoked me. Wanmale immediately sighed and acted like Tang Bao was very insensible. You're wrong. You still don't know anything. How can you say that I'm wrong? Tang Bao was unhappy. Can anyone with eyes see? Young Master D treats you so well? The food, clothes, and necessities are all the best. He's even afraid that you won't eat well. He sends people to send food here every day and picks you up every day. Which man has this patience? You should be content. You really don't know how lucky you are to be pampered to this extent. Wanmale had just finished speaking, as if he was responding to Di Haotian's kindness. There was a knock on the office door and Chen Shu walked in. President Tang, your lunch is here. Tang Bao's expression changed when he heard this. He slammed the table and stood up. I'm not eating. If you dare to bring it in, I'll throw it down the stairs. The delivery staff, who was about to come in, was so scared that they stood there without moving. They looked at the angry Tang Bao, who was about to climb onto the desk. Tang Bao came down from the desk and sat on the chair with a calm expression. It was as if the person who was angry just now wasn't her. Take it away. I'm not eating it, Tang Bao said again. The news of Tang Bao's refusal to eat reached Di Haotian's ears. His face instantly turned cold by dozens of degrees, and the entire air froze. Di Haotian, who was sitting on the black chair, stood up. His anger made it impossible for him to sit calmly. He walked out directly. Coincidentally, Di Junbai came over. When he saw Di Haotian's gloomy face, he called out, Young Master Di. In T, this was Di Haotian's title, an inviolable title. Even Di Junbai had to be like this. Because this was T, Di Haotian was the sole ruler. Di Haotian didn't respond. His gaze towards Di Junbai was even colder. Then, a cold wind brushed past him. Di Junbai looked in the direction where Di Haotian disappeared and frowned slightly. What was wrong with him? He didn't offend him, did he? But why did he feel that the cold gaze was directed at him? When he came back to his senses, he saw his father, Di Lingyue, walking over. Come to my office for a while. Di Junbai went over. There was no need to worry about others overhearing their conversation in the office. It doesn't feel good, right? Di Lingyue asked. What do you mean? Di Haotian's arrogance. Di Lingwe didn't believe that his son would be so dense to this extent. He's probably in a bad mood. Di Junbai looked away and said, "He treats you like this because he's in a bad mood? Ignores you?" Di Lingwe asked back. "What are you trying to say?" Di Junbai's expression was calm. Compared to Di Lingwe's emotional state, it was as if nothing had happened. It was as if no matter what Di Haotian did to him, he would be so calm. "What I want to tell you is that even if you are above everyone else, you will still be a subject." "Do you understand what I mean?" Di Lingwe asked. "You want me to usurp the throne? Why not? You aren't weaker than Di Haotian. If you had some ambition, the current Tea Empire would be yours." "Dad, didn't you have ambition too? What happened in the end?" Di Lingwe was speechless for a while. In the end, he put on an angry face and said, "Let me tell you, Di Haotian will fall in my hands one day. I just lost a chance. Then I will wait and see." Di Junbai's lips curled into a mysterious smile. Tang Bao walked out of the company. The entrance was empty. Her chest was empty too. But she didn't show it. She was thinking about whether she should return to the Tang family or the castle. In the end, she decided to return to the castle. She didn't want to make it seem like it was her fault. She threw a tantrum and left home. Tang Bao sadly realized that when did she become so sensible? After returning to the castle, Tang Bao realized that Di Haotian had returned long ago. Chapter 173. Tang Bao walked into the hall and saw Di Haotian sitting lazily on the sofa with his long legs crossed. He was staring at the TV, not at her. His eyes didn't move since she came in, as if he couldn't see her. Tang Bao looked away without any expression and walked straight upstairs. Zhang Li walked over. "Young master, young madam, it's time to eat?" Only then did Tang Bao notice that she came back later than usual. In the past, she could take a shower before dinner, but now she didn't even have time to go up the stairs. Tang Bao hesitated for a moment and went to the dining room. She sat down and ate, as if there wouldn't be a second person at the dining table. While Tang Bao was eating, Di Haotian walked over and sat down at the dining table. The two of them ate in silence. There were only two people in the dining room. The crisp sound of cutlery clanking as they ate seemed to replace their own thoughts every time. It was dull and oppressive. Zhang Li looked at Lian silently. Why was the atmosphere so strange? Lian's face was expressionless, but he saw everything. Tang Bao left the table first, followed by Di Haotian. When the dining table was cleared, Zhang Li asked Lian, "Did you guys quarrel?" "I didn't see it." "Young madam didn't come back to sleep last night," Zhang Li said. "Didn't you say that she went to stay at the Tang family's house?" Lian said. "Because Tang Bao went to the Tang family's house and called back. Even if she called Di Haotian, a room for two people was like a room for one person. They did their own things, and so did sleeping." At night, when the lights were turned off, Tang Bao was still thinking that her marriage with Di Haotian was a mistake. Didn't they say that 3 years old was a generation gap? She felt that the generation gap between her and Di Haotian was like a Milky Way. She had to flap her wings to fly over. Is Di Haotian having a hard time now? After all, he had married a girl who he only wanted to repay, and this girl was not very obedient. Would he regret it? It was right to regret. Who would pay a lifetime of happiness just to repay a debt of gratitude? He married her but refused to divorce her. Tang Bao felt that this matter was giving him a headache. At the very least, she did not accept such a model. What did he take her for? Pitiful? She didn't need him to pity her in such a way. That would only make her more miserable. Tang Bao fell asleep in a state of melancholy. She thought that she would lose sleep. Perhaps he thought too much, but in the end, he calmed down. Like a calm lake without ripples. Other than being so calm, what else could she do? Even if the reason for the marriage was so far-fetched, she had no right to say no. Di Haotian had been the one in control all this time. It was like running in a dream, unable to run out of that circle. In the darkness, Di Haotian opened his eyes. Even in the dark, his eyes could be seen clearly, because they were darker than the night. Tang Bao curled up next to him with her back to him. Her slender body seemed to only need a small piece of the large bed. Di Haotian hugged her back. Tang Bao automatically went into his chest, as if unconsciously finding the most comfortable position to sleep in. Di Haotian's eyes changed in the darkness. Your heart is only allowed to have me. If there is anyone else, I will cut them with a knife, do you understand? When Tang Bao woke up, she found herself in Di Haotian's arms. She woke up in repulsion and stepped back, away from Di Haotian as far as she could. Di Haotian opened his sharp eyes and his face turned cold. Is it disgusting? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Maybe I can sleep somewhere else. Tang Bao did not look at Di Haotian's face, but the sudden oppressive atmosphere made her feel terrible. But she didn't know how she fell asleep in Di Haotian's arms. She was sleeping on the edge of the bed before she fell asleep. How did it become like this? She didn't care about the arms that didn't belong to her. Di Haotian lifted the blanket and got out of bed. The cold air was everywhere. Di Haotian washed up and came out of the room. Tang Bao was still sitting on the bed. The room was cold and cheerless, and Di Haotian's aura was still lingering. When she was at the company, no lunch was delivered at noon. Wan Malay asked, "Why didn't you have lunch today?" "I don't need it. Can you not be so stubborn? Did you quarrel with the young master because you are his savior?" Wan Malay thought. Tang Bao glanced at her and nodded. "Why can we quarrel about this? Isn't it better that you are his savior? What are you struggling with? If I'm his savior, just give me some money. Why do you want to marry me? Is there a conflict?" Wan Malay thought for a long time and asked. Tang Bao sighed and didn't say anything. Tang Bao had always thought that Di Haotian liked her. Only this kind of marriage would be meaningful, right? She accepted Di Haotian's domineering attitude and his love, which made her very happy. She also slowly accepted Di Haotian as a person. In the end, it turned out that Di Haotian didn't like her, but wanted to repay her kindness. What was the difference between this and a transaction? What was there for her to be happy about? This was a marriage to repay a debt of gratitude. Since there's nothing to eat, let's go out and eat? I'll treat you to a big meal. What are you trying to do? What do you mean? I'm just treating you to a meal. Can't I do that? Don't make it sound like I'm stingy. Aren't you stingy? Tang Bao asked. That's better than being stingy. The two of them were walking out of the company when a dazzling female celebrity arrived. Wan Malay's eyes immediately lit up. She quickly ran up to her and said, "Yu Lianlian, I like you very much. I'm your loyal fan. Can you give me an autograph?" Okay. Yu Lianlian gave her an autograph. "Can I take another picture?" Yu Lianlian also agreed. Wan Malay passed her phone to Tang Bao and said, "Quick, help me take a few more pictures." Tang Bao took out his phone and opened a picture on the camera. Yu Lianlian entered the company. It was obvious that she was here to look for Zhou Jisen. Tang Bao wondered why she didn't ask Zhou Jisen if he would remarry Yu Lianlian. This way, it would be beneficial for the company to let Yu Lianlian do a free advertisement for the company. Tang Bao planned to do so. Tang Bao, did I owe you in my previous life?" Wan Malay broke down. Tang Bao frowned and didn't know what was going on. "Why are you screaming?" "I'm screaming? Look at what kind of pictures you took." Tang Bao took the phone and looked at it. The corners of her mouth twitched. If she wasn't afraid of hurting Wan Malay and making her think that she did it on purpose, she would have laughed out loud. The pictures were of two heads and there was nothing below. It was like two balls poking out from a horizontal line. There wasn't even a neck. "Did you do it on purpose?" Wan Malay asked. "How about this? I'll take more pictures for you next time? I'll take better ones." Tang Bao tried to save the friendship between the two of them. "Don't be unhappy because of this." She was very easy to talk to. She could bend and stand. Chapter 174. Tang Bao was speechless. Could she still be considered human? She didn't do it on purpose. Tang Bao stood at the entrance of the company and sighed. He had just made a friend who not only forgot his friends when he was in love, but he was also an ungrateful friend. What a sin! Tang Bao shook his head. A car stopped a few steps away from the roadside. Tang Bao turned his head and saw Di Junbai in the driver's seat when the car window rolled down. He walked over in a daze. "Brother Junbai, why are you here? I want to have dinner with you. Is that okay? Someone stood me up and I don't have dinner. Let's have dinner together." "So I'm the spare tire?" Tang Bao grinned. "Are you willing to do that? Get in." Di Junbai smiled and turned his head. Tang Bao opened the car door and sat in the passenger seat. The car drove away. "What do you want to eat?" Di Junbai asked. "Brother Junbai, it's your treat." "I'm fine with anything." She wasn't going to pay. "You're the boss of the company. Why are you so stingy?" "Hee, what do you want to eat?" Tang Bao asked. "Then we have to find a good place." "Brother Junbai, I didn't expect you to be so naughty." Tang Bao looked surprised. Di Junbai only had a gentle smile on his face. They arrived at the table and waited for the dishes. Tang Bao couldn't help but look at Di Junbai seriously. Di Junbai's expression changed slightly, but he didn't look away. He looked at Di Junbai quietly as if they weren't in a restaurant. It was as if he wanted Tang Bao to look at him as much as he wanted. "Brother Junbai, you should have a girl you like, right?" Tang Bao suddenly asked. Di Junbai picked up the teacup in front of him and held it with his fair fingers. He took a sip and said, "Why do you say that? I don't have any other women around me." "Logically speaking, you must have someone you like. That's why you don't have any other women around you. Am I right, Brother Junbai?" Di Junbai didn't deny it. Yes. Tang Bao was just guessing. He did not expect that he would be right. "Who is that person? Do I know him? It's not good to be so curious." Di Junbai looked at her with a smile. Tang Bao pursed his lips. "What's wrong with being curious? What do you want to know?" "I want to know what kind of girl she is. She must be very good. Otherwise, why would Brother Junbai like her? I think that girl is the happiest person in the world." "Why?" Di Junbai looked at her. "Brother Junbai is gentle and considerate. There's no girl who doesn't like to be taken care of gently," Tang Bao said. "What about you?" "I what? Do you like being taken care of so gently?" "I..." Tang Bao's words got stuck in his throat. She used to like him very much. For the sake of Di Junbai, she was even willing to kidnap the bride. But then something like this happened. Once one chose the wrong path, the further one went, the bigger the divergence from the previous path would be. At least one could still see each other on a parallel path. But if one diverged, the distance between them would be further and further. When she heard Di Junbai say that there was a girl he liked, would she feel unfair? Would she be jealous? She was probably just envious of that girl. Who doesn't like her? Tang Bao pointed at the other women in the restaurant. "Believe it or not, there's no one here who doesn't like her. Although it's a compliment, I'll accept it." "It's really not a compliment." Tang Bao took him seriously. The smile on Di Junbai's face faded slightly. He asked, "You should like my brother more. Otherwise, why would you marry him?" Tang Bao's expression became uncomfortable again. "Why are you talking about him again? It would be better if he had a personality like yours." After saying that, she thought about adding Di Junbai's personality to Di Haotian's. She suddenly felt strange. Di Haotian's original personality seemed more suitable for him. "I'm envious of him." "What's there to be envious of?" Tang Bao asked. Di Junbai smiled and shook his head. He did not say anything. Tang Bao only felt that Di Junbai and Di Haotian's birth were a little different. Everything else was the same. Just as the two of them stopped talking, someone approached their table. A heavy shadow shrouded them from above. Tang Bao was stunned. He looked up, but his whole body stiffened. Di Haotian was looking at him with a cold aura. His dark eyes were looking down at him. Di Junbai did not expect Di Haotian to appear here. Brother, are you eating here too? Why am I disturbing you? Di Haotian's expression was cold and indifferent. Of course not. The corners of Di Junbai's lips curled up symbolically. Tang Bao could see Di Junbai's fear of Di Haotian. She was the same. This feeling was as if she had done something behind Di Haotian's back. However, she only had a meal with Di Junbai. She was innocent. Di Haotian sat down beside Tang Bao openly. Tang Bao had no choice but to sit beside him. He did not dare to have any objections. He let Di Haotian sit. It was Di Haotian's cold aura that made her a little uncomfortable. The space was already oppressed because of him. Now that he was so close, Tang Bao was the first to bear the brunt. How could she feel good? Her body was tense and could not relax. Why aren't you saying anything? Weren't you talking quite happily just now? Di Haotian's uncertain expression made people feel only danger. Tang Bao said, I'm done. Di Haotian's sharp gaze made his words stuck in his throat and back into his stomach. Di Haotian looked coldly at Di Junbai again. Why are you here? Brother, don't misunderstand. I just happened to pass by Tang Bao's company and saw her standing at the entrance of the company, so we went to eat together, Di Junbai said. What did you call her? I don't think I've ever heard you call her sister-in-law. Shouldn't you call her by her name? Di Haotian asked expressionlessly. Di Junbai's expression changed slightly and did not look too good. Tang Bao frowned and immediately looked at Di Haotian unhappily. What are you doing? Does it matter if I call her that or not? You think it doesn't matter? Di Haotian's eyes were as cold as ice. Tang Bao was about to say something when the waiter came over to serve the dishes. She could not say anything. She glared fiercely at Di Haotian and did not look at her anymore. You guys eat. I remember that I still have something to do, so I'll take my leave first. Di Junbai smiled at Tang Bao, picked up the coat on the back of the chair, got up and left. Tang Bao's expression was extremely ugly. She turned her face to the other side and lost her appetite. Are you sad that he left? Tang Bao did not say anything. In the next second, her jaw was pulled and her face was forced to look at Di Haotian's chiseled face and sharp eyes. Didn't you hear what I said? Tang Bao tried to pull the hand on her jaw, but the fingers used force. She could not pull it off no matter how hard she tried. Tang Bao grabbed the plate in front of her and threw it at Di Haotian. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.